Or the nominations? You want to do our lists first, or you want to talk about that stuff first and do it?
Well, let's go ahead and get to, like, nominations and things.
Let's talk about BAFTA nominations. And all right. Let me pull up those lists then first.
Are we starting with our homework or no awards?
No, we're doing awards first.
We'll talk about some of the things.
Because, I mean, the award talk and nomination talk will go into, I'm sure.
BAFTAs are interesting because Scarlett Johansson was nominated for Marriage Story as lead, and Jojo Rabbit is supporting.
That made my list.
Margot Robbie.
Jojo Rabbit did?
No, Marriage Story.
Margot Robbie was nominated for supporting twice.
Oh, shit.
Once for Bombshell and once for Once Upon a Time.
I forgot Jojo on my list. Whoops.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it? Fantastic.
I missed a few.
I love that movie.
The Golden Globes have happened. I think that the score went to Hildur, I can't pronounce her last name, who did the score for the Joker. I think it was a twofer because she also did the score for Chernobyl, but they don't do scores for television series or movies or anything.
Which is dumb because they totally should.
Especially like the limited series or TV movies, but they don't. So I think that she and the score was very good for the Joker, but I think she earned it as a bonus for her work for this entire year, which I think is a fine idea. I mean, if you're a musician, if you're responsible for the score for multiple things during a year, you should get credit for the work on all of those.
So, are we recording now?
Yeah.
Oh, hey guys, welcome to Simon Says Pop.
I don't waste my good stuff.
Yeah, I know. So
I sound enthused.
A lot's happened since the last time we recorded. We've had
time.
a lot of time. Yeah, time in general.
Next one after this might not be for about 4 or 5 weeks.
Yep. Jesus Christ.
Into January.
Oh no. All right, guys. So right now we're coming off the Golden Globes.
And right as after the BAFTA nominations came out.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I never really take the Golden Globes that seriously.
Oh my God.
I don't. Stop. Anytime a movie,
I will spend the 15 minutes to scroll back.
Hold on.
This conversation.
No.
Where
listen,
I brought you to the light to where you don't take them seriously. Where previously you did.
Yeah, but hold on. Anytime Cats can get nominated for best anything,
which was my first point.
What were they nominated for?
Musical comedy.
Best musical comedy.
This is one of the things is like
unintentional comedy.
What is that?
Well, they nominated who was the last year they nominated? Well, Bohemian.
Well, this is the thing though, is that the Golden Globes will get credit. It's like, oh, we've had the winner of 10 of the last 12 Oscar Best Pictures. They have 2 opportunities. They have a musical comedy category and a drama comedy. But what did they put in musical comedy this year? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say it's kind of a comedy. That movie's hilarious.
It's funny.
That
but
movie's
it's not,
funny as shit.
The Bruce Lee scene. Come on.
That's one of the funniest scenes of the year. Yeah. Underrated. Like,
nobody will possess.
Did you? the Brad Pitt won for Best Supporting Actor, and I think that's actually a really good indicator for him. Because this will be the only time he'll get an opportunity to win. I think this is his 3rd or 4th nomination. Well, if he gets nominated for an Oscar, I think it'll be his 4th nomination.
What are those nominations coming out? Nominations coming out.
Typically, I think it's like early. Oh, it should be probably another week or two. It'll be a Wednesday,
like a week from now, I think. Well, let's go ahead and just start with Best Picture Drama, a movie that none of us have seen yet. Well, the nominations were actually 1917, The Irishman, Joker, Marriage Story, and The Two Popes. And
1917 was the easiest lock for the Hollywood Foreign Press.
All of those,
a British World War I movie.
All of these movies were on my list except for one for my favorite movie of the year, and I haven't seen one of them. Guess which one didn't make my list?
Would you Joker? Joker didn't make your list.
Yep,
it's on mine.
Yeah, it's not on mine.
It's high.
So 1917 won Best Drama, and then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood won Best Musical and Comedy, making those 2 movies I'd say probably the front runner, along with maybe Irishman.
Did you see the Golden Globes?
I didn't watch him.
Quentin Tarantino's head is freakishly large and odd shaped.
Is he on steroids?
It looks like it looks like he's on the Barry Bonds HGH.
Peyton Manning, baby.
But I don't think that he is. It's just I think he just has. I don't think his skull has stopped growing. It's a weird thing.
So for Best Actress Motion Picture Drama, Renee Zellweger won for Judy,
which is typically appropriate for the Hollywood Foreign Press. They love Zellweger
and they love musicals.
And Judy Garland was big in Europe and everything.
Did you?
I haven't seen that one. I wanted to see that one because it was only at Valentine Village. I missed.
ScarJo was nominated for Marriage Story. Ronan, I don't know.
There was an interview by Vanity Fair where Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson were interviewing each other, and Scarlett Johansson was talking about Marriage Story and said that every word in Marriage Story was in the script. There was no ad-libbing whatsoever. And Chris Evans says, both of you deserve Oscars. Both of you deserve Oscars. Every single one of that was written. None of that was ad-libbed or improvised in the moments.
Everything was...
Everything. And you said, "Oh, well, no, totally deserved."
Well, then that guy should probably get best screenplay too.
Oh no, but this is one of the things. It's like, so Noah Baumbach, who's partners with Greta Gerwig. This is my Oscar bet that I'm throwing out there far in advance. Greta Gerwig will win adapted screenplay Oscar, and Noah Baumbach will win original screenplay Oscar. They'll walk off with both the writing awards.
So wait, you told me about that. They do shack up.
Yeah, they've been shacked up for a few years. They
great.
met on Francis Ha.
They're very good at what they do.
Yeah, and they help each other out.
Very talented.
Fantastic.
How do you say Ronan's that first name?
Saoirse.
Saoirse Ronan was for Little Women. Lovely movie. I love that movie.
I think she's going to end up being like the Al Pacino and Peter Sellers.
Peter
O'Toole.
She's been nominated like 5 times.
She's going to get a whole bunch of nominations. She might not ever be recognized until way late in her career.
Charlize Theron was nominated for Bombshell.
She was fantastic in that.
And Cynthia Erivo was nominated for Harriet. Did not see Harriet.
That's still playing.
It's still playing. Joker, Joaquin Phoenix won for Best Actor Drama.
His performance was fantastic.
It was. And, I mean, but the thing is...
I was shocked. His Golden Globe speech actually made him seem kind of likable. It was really... Rooney Mara is having a tremendous impact on him.
He beat out Adam Driver for A Marriage Story and also Antonio Banderas for Pain and Glory.
It's too soon for Adam Driver's career, I think.
But he's been a favorite going in.
But I've said this before. I think he's going to be the Han Solo of his career, in that he's always better than people think, but people don't recognize it because he's so effortless at it.
Musical comedy female performance went to Awkwafina for The Farewell, which I did not see this
I've
year.
heard it's fantastic.
I heard it's really good.
And I don't know what my preconceived notion of her was, because the only thing I'd ever seen her in, the first thing I saw her was in Ocean's 8, and it's she was fine.
I just think of her as annoying.
But she was great in Crazy Rich, and that's kind of, her real name's Nora, which is probably why she goes to Aquafina.
She should go by Nora.
Well, that's the Nora from Queens is the Comedy Central series she has coming out.
Oh, really?
But the Crazy Rich Asians, she's fantastic in that. She's so funny and so good in that.
Yeah, but she was in Neighbors too,
and she's going to be in Shang-Chi.
She's the Asian in Neighbors too.
Yes, the sorority, the Neighbors
sorority movie,
thing,
yeah.
But she's going to, and I didn't see that one, but she's going to be in Shang-Chi, so I'm very excited to see.
Is she in Shang-Chi?
Yes, who she's going to be in that.
Okay, Taron Egerton, who is my favorite for Best Actor, won for Rocket Man.
And I'm so disappointed in myself that I didn't say that he was going to win, because again, British actor, British character, British movie, of course is going to win the.
Yeah, but he beat out Daniel Craig playing a Southern debutante-esque.
But because it wasn't a British movie or a British director or everything else, it was a little different. But Taron Egerton is absolutely deserving. I think this one actually gives him momentum. He's definitely going to be Oscar nominated.
Well,
now.
yeah, because he got a BAFTA,
and he's going to win the BAFTA. I'm pretty sure he's going to win the BAFTA. So now he's going to have a lot of momentum.
I think, like I said, I've said it from the moment I saw that movie. I liked his performance better than Rami Malek's performance as Freddie Mercury.
May 12th.
I think he did a fantastic job. So all
right.
right.
Which Rami Malek's now wife was also in the other movie, the Rocket Man.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh, I think Rami Malek looks awesome in the next Bond movie.
And it was the same. And it was as I air quote, it was the same director.
Yeah.
Because that's the guy who took over for Mark Singer. No, Mark.
Singer.
Brian Singer.
Brian Singer.
Mark
so
Singer
Laura Dern won. Laura
Master.
Dern won Best Performance in Supporting Role for Marriage Story. I think that's accurate. She did a great job playing that lawyer.
It'll be interesting if she gets nominated for an Oscar for that. She might get a lot of credit for that and Little Women as a combo thing.
She's kind of her and Ray Liotta arguing. She's so good.
Oh, I love that. Oh yeah.
You feel like they've just had that argument in real life or something close to it.
You feel like it comes across like they used to be lovers.
Yeah.
Like they definitely used to fuck on the side. Like grimy shit. Like
I feel like every woman in Hollywood had like they're like. No, you're like, that's rock bottom. It's like Ray Liotta.
No. They fucked in real life.
And they were 20 years younger than
and that's just that, but the characters themselves in the movie used to fuck as well. Like
no, so you're saying it's like Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham playing on stage just hate looking at each other. They're playing
pretty
songs.
Much, yeah.
Man, they're so good. They hate each other.
Brad Pitt won for Once Upon a Time for Best Supporting Actor, which you already stated.
I think this is the only chance to win.
I think it's this year, but even though I personally think Joe Pesci in Irishman's fantastic.
And the interesting thing is that might be the opportunity, because they know he hasn't acted in like almost 20 years, and it's like this might be his only opportunity. But I think they also might see that the nominations award. But the Brad Pitt thing, You're talking about the Bruce Lee flashback when they come back to him on the roof and he just sits
like,
there
And he's got that smile
and
on
then
his
he
face.
goes like,
yeah.
that's the best acting I've seen from him.
Well, the thing is, like, no, but
I love him as Rusty in the Oceans movie. He's so subtle
He's the
with
best.
everything he
He's
does.
the best part of those movies.
best director motion
I don't
picture.
mean to be mysterious, but I can't tell you. I can't say why.
Best director motion picture, which is funny. They
It's
don't.
not in my nature to be mysterious.
They
but I
don't
keep
do
thinking.
two separate categories for best director, which is kind of funny.
It's weird.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you're gonna drama, but
Todd Phillips is totally going to be the movie that gets nominated. The director isn't for the Oscars
I kind of hope so, but
because Greta Gerwig will, Noah Baumbach will,
Scorsese will, and Tarantino will too.
and Mendes.
Oh, but Bong Joon-ho, who also got his BAFTA nomination.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's
He's
like
a dark horse.
with only 5 slots. Phillips is totally.
I don't think Greta Gerwig's going to get nominated.
Well, that's why, and this is why I think that because Tarantino won't win a director one. I don't know why the deal is, and they usually give him the screenplay ones. But that's why I think this year Gerwig is going to get credit for Lady Bird last year and this, and so she'll get adapted screenplay for Little Women, especially for the way that she adapted it. I think the choices
She did
that
a
she made,
fantastic
It was
job.
really good. And then Baumbach won't win for any of the other ones, and so he'll win for the original screenplay. So I think that's where those will happen. And then director will be
Sam Mendes.
and Parasite.
Oh,
Bong Joon-ho.
Bong Joon-ho.
Yeah, Bong Joon-ho. So I think those are the two guys that are actually fighting for that one.
Yeah, but I think Sam Mendes is probably going to end up winning that one. If
Because-
the rumors are true about how amazing this
Well,
movie
also
is.
it's Parasite's going to win
Best
foreign
foreign.
language, so that gives him his Oscar.
It's one of my favorite movies of the year. Have you the one y'all watched Parasite yet?
No.
It's Eric, who may come down, who is he loves that movie. He says it's fantastic.
Listen, that movie. We'll discuss when we talk about the top movies of the year. It's a great movie. All right, so screenplay, motion picture. Quentin Tarantino won that. Animated movie, Missing Link, beat out Frozen 2,
It's an English production.
The Lion King, Toy Story 4, and How to Train Your Dragon. I'm just gonna ignore that one. And of course, Parasite won foreign language, and original score went to Hidor.
Yeah, that's
But,
she's Norwegian.
yeah, the chick that did the
Or
Joker
Danish, I'm
soundtrack.
sorry.
Great soundtrack. I
And
mean, that's a great
also,
score.
She also did the score for Chernobyl. So that I think that was a 2 for
Yeah, but personally, I love Randy Newman's Marriage Story score. Have you watched Marriage Story yet?
I've got to work myself into that one.
The
It's
score,
Scarlett, so I'll
it's
watch
so
It
good.
took me 2 sittings. There's one, oh my God, that's Scarlett's favorite line. My favorite Scarlett line ever in a movie is in that movie.
Which one?
You don't care, right?
No, I don't.
Just please, just finger me. It'll change my life, I swear.
Oh yeah, you hear ScarJo saying, you're like, oh, you filth. Great shit.
It's so funny.
All right, so that's about it. So let's go ahead and get into the BAFTA nominations, which has been a good indicator for what's going to happen with the Academy Awards. As of right now, this year, shockingly enough, because they predicted what, I think 39 of the last
They've been
50
pretty interesting. And what I think that's most interesting about the BAFTA
nominations.
was the double nomination for Scarlett Johansson, the double nomination for Margot Robbie, which I think Margot Robbie is beyond deserving of getting something. But the nominating her for Sharon Tate in Once Upon a Time that's a reach. I mean, she's hardly in the movie. She's completely effective in what she's meant to be in that movie, but she has 17 lines of dialogue.
Yeah.
She was great in Bombshell. She was fantastic in Bombshell.
I actually really did like Bombshell, but it didn't make my top list. I mean, I once saw it early.
You know who was great in that? Kate McKinnon was amazing in Bombshell.
She did a very good job in that movie. You weren't really expecting that either because everyone just kind of, typecast her as that SNL chick, but she did a very good job in that movie. I have to agree. I'm trying to. All right, so BAFTA nominations. Best film were 1917,
Which will win that.
which is going to win. Irishman, Joker, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. Dark horse for me is Parasite. I don't think Joker needs to be on that list. Irishman, the more I've watched it, the more I've liked it. I've had to take me a few viewings, and
I sent these guys the.
It takes a few viewings to watch it once.
I sent these guys the guy at home who did the de-aging of the actors, which apparently looks much better than the version in the film.
well, no, I
from the YouTube clip.
I've
and
been reading up on more on that movie and listening to what other people like. There's a reason why he decided to go with that effect that he did, because it's based on De Niro's character and how he recognizes it. That's how he sees it. So it's not so much that he looks young; it's more that he looks kind of old and young at the same time with a glow. apparently because Scorsese likes to play with technology.
He
he's kind of a
and he had to wait to get the technology, and he didn't do it the traditional way because he didn't put the he didn't have the dots on the faces, which is obviously why it's not the same as the others.
So, but I think he like he did with Hugo. He wanted to do Hugo. It was a fully 3D animated movie with actors, so you kind of get it. Each character has kind of a glow. They kind of look young and old at the same time. So it's based on his memory. Because it's a recount. Daniel's giving you a recount of how he remembered things to be.
Oh, so the movie's told in flashback?
Yes.
Okay.
So once you...
So it's an old guy remembering what they look like.
Yeah, so that's why they... Exactly. So, and Scorsese is at that stage of his career now. He's like 80. That's how he's kind of remembered. So,
am I the only one who would have remembered myself looking like Brad Pitt?
I've seen a couple of pictures from me from like 20 years ago. That's the only way that I remember myself. I don't remember like the old guy being younger.
Homer Simpson looking at himself in the mirror. That's how I always look. So best director, Sam Mendes, 1917, which is probably going to win. Scorsese, Irishman, Joker, Quentin Tarantino, and then Bong Joon-ho for Parasite.
Jesus, he got nominated for everything. I really need to watch that movie.
Well, Bong Joon-ho, dude, it's an awesome movie. Yeah. It's really good. A lot of people didn't think he was going to get that director's nod with the BAFTA, and that's pretty much a good indicator he's going to get it for the Academy Award. Leading actress is Jessie Buckley for Wild Rose, which I did not see.
I saw this. This will be interesting. So I saw a video talking about the original song, because the original song from that she sings at the end of the movie was co-written by Mary Steenburgen.
Really?
Yes. And what happened is she had a surgery about 4 or 5 years ago, and she came out with it, and it's kind of like one of those weird stroke things where all of a sudden it like she was thinking in music and she never played instruments or anything, so she had to figure a way. So she went to Nashville and spent the time and was writing. So she's written a lot of songs and everything.
That's kind of cool.
So I think it was nominated for a Golden Globe, but it probably will be nominated for an Oscar, because after reading the article, I saw the performance at the end, and it's like, oh no, this is, and so I saw her, and then it's like, that's a really interesting movie. So it starts off Wild Rose. It's a Scottish woman who wants to be a country music singer, and it starts with her getting out of jail and goes to visit her mom, who's raising her 2 kids, and how she's like, do I chase this dream of going to the U.S. and being a country music singer, or do I take my responsibilities? And of course it ends up to where she realizes home is where she had always been running from, was actually where she wanted to be, and that's what the song is about. And it's
sign me up. I want to see that movie.
Yeah, no,
now.
It's really interesting.
I'll throw that on my list along with that that Burning Portrait movie.
A Portrait of a Woman on Fire.
Yeah, I want to see that movie. All right, so Scarlett Johansson got nominated for Marriage Story. I think she's the front runner. She did a fantastic job on that movie.
But they did nominate Renee Zellweger as well, didn't they?
They did. Judy, yeah. And Charlize Theron got Bombshell. And then Saoirse Ronan got Little Women.
Who won the drama Golden Globe?
Judy.
That wasn't for musical comedy. Who won the musical comedy one?
She won Best Actress. That's it. They don't separate.
That's right, for the actor one. Just for the movie.
Leading actor is Leonardo DiCaprio for Once Upon a Time, Joaquin Phoenix for Joker, Adam Driver for Marriage Story, Taron Egerton for Rocketman, and Jonathan.
No, they do, because Taron Egerton won comedy musical and
okay,
Joaquin.
So you're right, because Awkwafina won for best.
For drama. Okay, okay.
So, and then Jonathan Pryce won for The Two Popes. If you haven't seen The Two Popes, it's a fantastic. It's such a good movie.
He's supporting on that or for lead on that?
That's leading, which is actually
that'll be interesting, because a British actor. So this might be the opportunity for them to honor him.
Have you seen Two Popes?
No,
I know you haven't really got a chance to watch any Netflix movies.
I was confused by until I saw that. I thought it was a documentary about it and wasn't.
That's what I thought it was. I thought it was a documentary. So I'm like,
and I saw the nominations.
Like Anthony Hopkins and Jonathan Pryce. Like, all right, I'm going to watch this. I made my mom watch it because she's a fucking Catholic. Well, Mom, check this movie out. And half the movie's in Spanish.
She's not just a Catholic.
No, she's a fucking Catholic. And also, she's a fucking Catholic, and she's a Latin woman. And the current pope right now is from Argentina. By the way, crazy backstory about him. A lot of things I did not know about Pope Frank and what he had to go through in Argentina during the 70s.
Oddly, of the 2 most recent popes, the one from Argentina has less Nazi ties.
I know, right? Jesus. No, how many times they call Benedict a Nazi in that movie? Hilarious. It's actually supposed to be a comedy. Supporting actor.
No, that's the thing. I saw the clip with Anthony Hopkins making a joke, and it's like, oh, okay, maybe I am going to watch this.
Oh, it's a good movie. Supporting actor Tom Hanks for A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Arguably,
I think that's the right place. A supporting actor for that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because
it's not about him.
It's not about him.
It's a framing device.
It throws that movie into my worst movies of 2019, which I did not ask you to do, because I think the movie was wrongfully misadvertised. Anthony Hopkins, Two Popes, Al Pacino, Irishman, Joe Pesci, Irishman, Brad Pitt, Once Upon a Time. I personally think, if I were to pick out of this list, I'd say Joe Pesci. But it looks like this might be finally Brad Pitt's year to win.
With he and Pacino, that'll split votes on those things, which is weird. But
Joe Pesci's so good.
I just think it's Pitt's time.
It is. Supporting actors: Laura Dern, Marriage Story; Scarlett Johansson, Jojo Rabbit; Florence Pugh for Little Women. She was good in that movie.
Well deserving. She was really
good in that movie. But
she's easily the most unlikable, hateable character. But it's like you get it. You understand.
Even
why.
her fucking tone, you want to punch her. Like, ugh.
But when she has the disagreement with Laurie in the paint studio, it's like, oh, I now completely understand this character.
Yeah, she's really good. Margot Robbie for Bombshell and Margot Robbie for Once Upon a Time. Margot Robbie in Once Upon a Time has very limited screen time, and then once you see that movie again, you realize she actually might be the most important character in the movie.
No, the entire movie's a swerve.
Yes.
It's following her because you think something big's going to happen, and then it changes it.
Well, not just that, but also that movie's about how...
it's not screen time, it's words.
No, Once Upon a Time was...
She has a lot of screen time.
You stalk her a lot.
She only has 17 lines.
It looks like she doesn't know she was shooting him. Quentin was just like,
which is probably what happened.
Yeah, but Once Upon a Time...
Put your feet up.
Take your shoes off.
Once Upon a Time is Quentin's Irishman. It's him because he says he's got one more movie left. This is his swan song.
First off, that's bullshit.
and then he's gonna retire.
I mean, he's already counting.
He's not talking.
He's already counting Kill Bill as one movie.
Well, I know, so it works. I think it counts. Jackie Brown with Jackie Brown with an adaptation.
Well,
you watched the same YouTube video.
Yeah, we did. We all did.
Who was it?
It was Honest Trailers.
Yeah. Honest Trailers. It makes sense.
And then when he does Kill Bill 3, that is still part of the one movie. So yeah, no, it's like there's no way he can't. He's what, 55?
And also he's talking about doing.
There's no way he's going to do a movie in 5 years and not do anything for 30.
No,
he's getting a Star Trek too.
That's already.
Well, the thing.
Yeah, he's already, because he knows. Because he wants people to think he's only doing 10, so he can't do that.
When you do that much cocaine, ideas come out. Yes. And you can't not do them.
Yeah, tell that to fucking Stephen King. Adapted screenplay. He wrote he wrote Cujo on a weekend bender.
You can tell when he gets toward the end, he's just like off the rails.
That's why he can't write. That's why he can't end a movie well or a book well. No, he wrote Cujo.
Is that when he sobers up?
Yeah, pretty much. He wrote Cujo on a weekend, a blow bender in a weekend. He woke up, came to, bloody nose rags everywhere, and a fucking manuscript in front of me. Like, what the fuck did I just do?
You can tell. You can tell he was just sitting there right in the mist, and he was just like, all right, monsters, and it's fucking foggy. Yes. And then at the end, how do I end this? Shoot the fucking kid. Listen, shoot the fucking.
As Josh and I myself very well know, listen, it could be 11 a.m. You're still awake with 8 friends, and you guys are discussing future business plans.
And for some reason, today is the only day you can hear the birds.
Yes, and
somebody sent me a meme the other day. I said, "You ever hear the birds at 5 a.m.?" I was like, "Holy shit, I've never heard them sober." Is it the paranoia? You tell you, Jere, I'm telling you, I'm not saying try
100% fact.
But at 5 a.m., the birds are so loud.
Yeah, but that's just that. Because those birds are judging you.
Yeah.
Why are you awake? Why are you awake? Why are you awake? Why am I awake? It's drinking sober, whatever. But no, listen.
It's just blow.
You can get it's booze too. But you can get a group. You can get a group of strangers, 5 people, get them all on blow, and get them in a room, and you'll have a business plan, a trip planned out for to Thailand, and probably some type of restaurant.
It's always Thailand.
I had to tell my roommate to cancel his credit cards because he booked tickets to Tomorrowland in Belgium. It's like, John, and you paid for somebody else? Tell them you lost your card.
This is what happens. No, these are the type of things that happen. Yeah, anyways, adapted screenplay: Steven Zalian for The Irishman, Taika Waititi for Jojo Rabbit, who did not pop up for Best Director, which I'm very disappointed. Jojo Rabbit was a very good movie.
I think it's going to take him a while.
And the thing is, Jojo Rabbit, we're also forgetting that the Academy Awards, you get up to 9 to 10, or is it 9 now?
It's up to 10 for movies.
Yeah, so Jojo Rabbit will probably still get that nomination.
Well, the thing
and Little Women's still going to get that fucking nomination, too.
Yeah, the thing that's odd...
9, never. I was always thinking 5.
The thing that's odd about Taika Waititi is that he should be nominated for director before he's nominated for script. Because he does so much improvisation, so much work with the actors on set that it's more of a director thing than the director.
The reason why they expanded to 9-10 is because the year Dark Knight came out, everyone said it was the best movie of the year, didn't get nominated. So to appease fans,
they changed the voting
and try to get more viewers. They're like, okay, we're going to start doing more movies. That's how you got movies like Arrival and other. Well, even Arrival was a fantastic movie, really good movie.
It's like expanding the playoffs. You just watch bad teams get killed.
Well, they did.
That's how Black Panther got nominated.
They did it like Hall of Fame thing, is to where if they meet this certain threshold up to 10.
Well,
10
remember,
nominations.
this-
They haven't ever had 10. I think the most they've had is 8.
This was going to be the year. No, I think it was the year they had 9. This is going to be the year that they were going to have best blockbuster.
No, last year.
Was that last year?
It was the Black Panther Award.
Yeah, they're trying. Because Endgame,
Best crowd pleaser.
Endgame is getting no
Literally,
love here.
you're going to want to ghettoize Black Panther to a category that didn't exist before.
Oh, how do we not talk?
Racist.
How do we not talk about fucking
Best blockbuster, and it beats Infinity War.
It wouldn't have.
Create a better category.
Well, that's the thing. Is like if they would have both been nominated, then they would have screwed themselves because they would have created the black category and not given to the black movie.
I feel like Thanos wins the black category.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not going to go there. All right, so Death of Screenplay.
Josh Brolin. No, just make
Slowly walks away from the table.
Josh Brolin, purple face.
Greta Gerwig, Little Women, Anthony McCartan for The Two Popes, Todd Phillips for The Joker, Taika Waititi for Jojo Rabbit, and Steven Zalian for The Irishman. That's for the adapted screenplay.
Todd Phillips is not. Joker might, except for the chance of Joaquin Phoenix, but he's won an Oscar. I think Joker's going to be the movie that gets 6 to 9 nominations and wins none.
It got 11 BAFTAs.
No, but I mean for the Oscar side.
Yeah.
Although,
no, I think Joaquin's still going to win.
Damn right.
I think Joaquin gets Best Actor. They're going to give it to him. I personally think he doesn't get it. I wouldn't.
No, I think Taron Egerton will get the momentum on that.
Taron should,
because Elton John's beloved in Hollywood.
He's saying all of his own.
Did you? I mean,
he fucking crushes it.
That's the first award that Bernie Taupin and Elton John won together. That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. That's the screenplay. Well, excuse me. Original screenplay goes to Booksmart, which I did not see. Apparently, it's a very good movie. Knives Out, Ryan Johnson. Baumbach for Marriage Story, and Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time.
Right.
I personally think Knives Out and Marriage Story should get this win, but it's
Ryan Johnson is the one thing that could upset the apple cart of the partners walking away with the most screenplays.
And Bong Joon-ho for Parasite as well.
It's winning foreign, so they're going to skip most.
They're not going to give him original screenplay, even though the screenplay for that movie is fantastic. You got homework. Go watch that movie if you can. It's still in theaters.
Here's the other problem is that I am slightly aware a little bit of this. He's going to say something that's going to ruin stuff, so you need to watch it quicker than the last.
I saw that movie over a month ago, and I've yet to say anything.
But we haven't spoken about it as much as we have in the last.
There's a turn in that movie that you're like, wait, what the?
It's already starting.
No, I said it was a turn. Everyone knows there's a turn.
No, everybody didn't. I didn't know that until I'd heard anything.
Well, there you go. That's all you need to know. You just don't know what's going to happen.
Stop.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and go. I gave everyone homework. I asked everyone to list out their top 10 movies or more, honorable mentions included.
I believe there was a criteria besides Endgame, right? Was that a criteria?
No, there was, but it could be on your list.
Well,
okay.
Here's the thing with this is
because Endgame's not on my list.
I'm not gonna necessarily do a top 10 of like my favorite or / best movies because we would be too redundant. I'd like to have a little more variation.
Mine's a combination of nerd glory and that was a good film.
Well,
I genuinely think all our lists are going to be very different.
I'm going. Mine are specifically related on because there are movies that I think that are really good, but over time I never revisit them. So most of my list is going to be the movies that I know that if ever it's on,
you're going to watch.
I'm stuck watching it.
That's no. There is no real criteria here. For this.
I know. But I'm explaining mine.
That's how I'm going to do mine.
Because I just put Endgame in my list.
Because
now, right?
it's one of those things is like whenever anybody would ask me to list my top movies, like my favorite ones, I could go like 20, 30, 40 movies, but I'd never get to Keira Knightley's Pride and Prejudice. But every time that movie's fucking on, I'm turning and I'm watching that to the very end.
I got like 3 movies in my top 10 John probably didn't even list.
Actually, you know what? I'm not going to lie to you. Endgame is on my list.
And I'm letting you have one of them, but I'm going to mention it because
mine comes up early.
Because I will end up watching that so much more often than I ever would have thought.
Yeah,
all right, guys. So go ahead and give your 10.
Am I going first?
Do you want to give?
Let's just go like kind of one.
We're going to go in a circle. So
I ended up having like 18, 19.
So, do you have any honorable mentions? Let's go and do honorable mentions.
Lion King and Good Boys.
Good Boys.
Good Boys was funny.
Good Boys was funny. It was a throwback to last decade's comedy.
Yeah,
like it kind of reminded me of like it's a super bad, but not quite as.
Well, that's why American Pie hit so well when it did. It was an '80s John Hughes comedy, teen comedy, and it hadn't been anything like that in like 15, 20 years.
So and I gave Lion King honorable mention because it was literally just a shot for shot.
So do you have 18 movies on your list?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
Okay, here we go.
I got to cut one. No.
This is what you're going to do. You are going to go ahead and give 10 honorable mentions, and you're going to do your top 10.
Okay, I'll start at the bottom.
All right.
Alita Battle Angel.
All right.
Marriage Story.
Alita Battle Angel, so much more fun than I thought it would be.
Oh, yeah, it was really
I
good.
enjoyed it.
Fantastic.
Ed
hope we get
Skrein
a
as a
sequel.
villain, as a pretty boy villain, is fantastic.
And
He's
I hope,
always great.
and I hope we get
And
a
she cuts
sequel.
his face,
Yes.
All right.
And then a reveal at the end.
Yeah, Edward Norton, great.
Yeah, I know.
Alita Battle Angel was a lot of fun. This is no order, just honorable mentions. Marriage Story. Uncut Gems. I didn't like the character, but I could see how it's a good film.
The thing is, like, I don't know that I'll ever watch it because
I had it low.
for any. But the one,
Stressful
I guess
movie.
the line that Adam Sandler has is like, "This is how I win." That's going to live forever.
Well, see, dude, my top 10 is just nerd glory, but okay. So
Yeah, but hold on. But
here, just my
the
good
thing with
films.
Uncut Gems is that, you know what? The premise alone, a guy who puts it all on the line over a basketball game.
And continually makes more and more mistakes until the anxiety. I don't really have anxiety.
Billy Hoyle, but can't pass.
The thought of this
The
just gets
it's,
to me.
It's nothing but anxiety.
He's Billy Hoyle,
the
but he can't
entire
pass.
movie.
I don't like him.
Even the score, you're just like, what the
It's
fuck am
fucking.
I
It's
watching?
exhausting. Yeah,
It's weird.
All right, so Uncut Gems.
But it made my top 10.
All right, Uncut Gems. Long Shot, the Seth Rogen, Charlize Theron
That's a
movie.
good movie.
That was funny.
It's on the HBOs. I got to watch
That was funny.
It's good.
Yeah. Detective Pikachu.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Have you seen the trailers for a Free Guy?
Yes.
With Taika Waititi and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
And Jodie Comer is in that as well. Oh, it's fantastic.
That's on my anticipated list.
Oh, so fantastic. Guy sitting here.
He's playing an NPC, a movie where it's basically like it's a play on Wreck-It Ralph.
Now that I'm just doing like honorable mentions, I'm looking at my top 10, just like wondering if I could bounce things in and out.
Go ahead.
No,
If you wanna do it on the fly.
I'm just going where I'm at. The Irishman.
Honorable mention.
I need to watch it again. I only
gets
watched
be-
it once.
It gets better the more you watch
I believe it. Yeah, that's one of the ones I'm thinking about throwing in my top 10. Shazam.
Shit.
Captain. You forgot about it?
I forgot Shazam.
Yeah. I was saying, I went through my list last night. I'm like, dude, so many fucking movies came out, man.
I have to watch Shazam again. I
watched it twice. Three times. It's entertaining.
I love Zachary Levi
Yeah.
as Captain Marvel Shazam. I despise the kid as Billy Batson.
Yeah.
He's a horrible person.
He's not good.
Captain Marvel. John Wick 3.
One of the things that we'll talk about is different scenes that affected me on other things. her rise scene at the end where it flashes through all the things and said that hits really well.
Yeah.
That hits really well.
It hits
Captain
better.
Marvel.
I think it hits better than the No Man's Land scene from Wonder Woman.
Captain Marvel's good rewatchability.
Yeah.
Very.
Jude Law as a villain is always a plus.
Amazing. John Wick 3, strictly for those damn dogs. Those are great. And
This is the best.
Braun getting his dick bit.
This was the best year for dick violence.
Dick violence, dick slander, and what's the show we watched?
Oh,
Euphoria. Yeah. No, people did not like dicks this year. Okay, then we got Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay.
Okay, and now am I in my top 10 yet? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's like my top 9, whatever. All right, so we're going back from. I'm gonna start from the bottom to the top.
Just going to give you 10. We're going to go in a circle.
Once Upon a Time is not on any of my lists, but it's one of the movies. Like the Miami Heat are a team that's better. Is the sum is greater than the whole is greater than the sum of its
And that's
parts.
the opposite.
Yeah, and Once Upon a Time is the opposite.
The opposite, exactly,
Like
yeah.
in any one scene, it's like, oh, that's great. I love that.
I can go back and enjoy every scene. I don't want to watch them consecutively.
But as a whole, it's like I don't care for as
And
much
it's too
as a
long.
whole.
Too
Yeah.
long.
I genuinely think I got to rewatch it.
Probably. All right. So top.
So he is doing the extended 4-hour one. Is going to come out probably in about a year.
Sweet. I'll love it. Probably.
So I'll like that. I'll
It'll
probably
probably
like
be
that
better.
All right. So now we're going to go into the top, and we're going to.
You start off with your 10.
We are, and I wanted to lead off with this one just for the reaction. Rise of Skywalker.
I enjoyed that movie
Yeah,
so
it's
much
a
more
fun-
than I thought.
It's a fun Star Wars movie.
I had read all of the spoilers that released, which most of the things were in there probably about 3 months before. One of my critic friends, I had messaged him and it was like, I don't know about this. He says, what do you mean? It's like, this is definitely going to be controversial, and it's totally going to be how they pull it off, and specifically the Han Solo scene.
Yeah.
That was so much better than I thought it could be.
I liked it.
It was
I
fantastic.
didn't know Harrison was coming back. I loved
One
it.
of
was
the only
fantastic.
things I liked in the movie.
Well, the thing is, like, how are they doing it? Because he's
on.
not a Force ghost. How are they doing this? I was all
Time
like,
out.
what are they going? And they legit. It's like, look, this is my memory, and it's the same dialogue from when he kills them.
Exactly.
It was.
It's
It was
memory. It's exactly a memory.
fantastic. It was fantastic.
Guys, hold on. I'll say one thing. Well, who would have thought at the start of how we started this podcast from the beginning that we didn't lead off with that movie, discussing that movie? I know it's been about a couple of weeks now since it came out, but
That wasn't the instructions you gave us.
I know because I don't want to talk about it. I don't
Well,
want to talk
but that's a you thing, not a us thing.
Yeah, I'm sorry we got bad producing here.
We really like.
I'm not the producer here.
I'm just I'm running the board.
Yeah, true, whatever. All right, so Rise of Skywalker.
You're the so-called talent.
Okay, I'll go.
All right, no, I thought are we
I thought we were gonna go around robin.
Well, no, yeah, go ahead and list your honorables or whatever.
All right, so my honorable mentions right now for me.
Rise of Skywalker's in my list.
So as you were going through that list, I made a couple changes to my list because I'm like, you know what? And then I considered what Jerry said. So my list, honorable mentions are Captain Marvel, Toy Story 4, Once Upon a Time, Peanut Butter Falcon, which is a really good movie. If you guys haven't watched that movie, fantastic. And the fact that Jake the Snake Roberts is in that movie.
North Carolina people.
Got to watch that movie.
I got to see it just for him.
Dark Waters, I went ahead and threw Midsummer out of that list of my top 10.
Yeah.
It was a good movie. I can see myself watching that movie again to catch shit again because that particular director, you got to watch his movies more than once.
Okay.
Two Popes, I went through my... nope, never mind. Excuse me. That was not right. Two Popes is actually in my top 10. John Wick 3, which if you had told me at the beginning of the year if that would be in my top 10, I would have been like, yes. It's not.
Nope.
And Uncut Gems is in now my honorable mentions.
Is Shazam going in your honorable mentions or your list?
I threw Uncut Gems.
No, Shazam.
No, I threw Uncut Gems out of my top 10 for Shazam.
Okay, that's fair.
So my number 10 movie is a movie I've already seen 3 times because I liked it that much. I also watched it with my mom, and we already discussed it earlier. Two Popes.
All right.
I love this movie. The relationship between those two men, the way how one is ultra liberal while the other one's ultra conservative, and how they actually kind of sparked a friendship, and how that whole transition worked out for them, and the story they tell about it, and the last scene of that movie. Spoilers, fantastic. So you find out that Pope Frank or Pope Benedict from Germany doesn't watch fucking soccer, but of course Pope Frank from Argentina loves soccer. What happened during the time while they're living together? They're still living together to this day.
Germany and Argentina play each other in the World
They're
Cup.
in the World Cup. So the last end of the movie is both of them watching the World Cup. And that immediately threw that movie into my top 10. I'm like, yes. And of course, Germany won that game. The Pope, who's conservative, who
on a substitute in like the 87th
Suck
minute.
it.
Yeah, the conservative Pope who doesn't watch fucking soccer wins the World Cup. So he's like, God's on my side on this one. So that's my number 10.
That's I'd watch it just for that line.
He doesn't. That's not in the movie.
Oh, it should be. It should be. He should just get up and say, "Suck it,"
and walk out.
Yeah.
And go to black.
Yeah.
So I'll have, and again, the movies that I'll revisit the most. A couple of them will be movies that I think are really, really good that people should at least take the opportunity to watch, or at least that I just enjoy. One of the things that we talk about, the reason I don't, the spoilers issue with me is I don't believe in those because in the moment of me watching a movie, if I'm thinking about anything other than what's on the screen in front of me, the movie's already failed. So the way a movie makes me feel in the moment that I'm watching it carries more weight than the actual construction of how well it's made or anything like that. And which is why Once Upon a Time is I don't speak highly of because as a whole movie I just didn't feel that impacted of. But if you take any one scene, I like all the individual things. But
Is he with the little girl?
That's
probably the
one
best scene in the movie.
Even every interaction with Brad Pitt and the dog is amazing. But it's just like
It's a great movie you can turn on halfway through if it's already started.
yeah. At any point in time, you can just and you haven't missed anything, and you can walk away. And if you come back later and see something was before, it doesn't matter.
It's still going to be on. It's long.
Yeah, it'll be on. By the time it's over, Leonardo DiCaprio will have to date a different woman.
Yep.
But so obviously, Hobbs and Shaw is on my of the movies that I'll revisit a tremendous amount of times because Vanessa Kirby is ridiculous in that, and it's The Rock and Jason Statham being full Rock and Jason Statham.
Oh, I need to watch them.
And it's just a lot of fun. I will say Terminator: Dark Fate shocked me by how well it was put together.
I liked it.
It was so much more enjoyable. I have not seen Genesis or Salvation. So the last
you
one
never
I
saw
saw,
Genesis?
No. So the last one that I saw was 3 of the Rise of the Machines. I only saw it once, and the one thing I did like about that movie is that it was an inevitability that AI was going to take over. So
no matter what.
It was a Terminator Day, and so this movie does carry that moment, but it's just a direct sequel from the second one.
I actually really liked it. I'm disappointed we're not going to get a sequel.
I think it's notorious that except for the girl in Once Upon a Time who was fantastic, I despise kids in movies. Fucking kill them all. They're awful. They hold down scripts. They don't write well. The one that did it the best was Olympus Has Fallen, the president's son, when Jared Butler, and it's like, oh, fuck, he's got to carry this kid around. No, he breaks him out of the White House. He goes away. no problem. It's like, that's a great movie.
Watch Jojo Rabbit, a kid. That movie's fantastic.
Well, and again, it's if it's about a kid, that's different.
I was about to say, this is a movie about a kid.
Oh,
It's different.
okay.
Yeah.
It's the side kids that are there just specifically to be an
They
obstacle.
just found a kid as a cute kid to be in the movie.
just to be an obstacle.
I like how in Bad Santa there was an obstacle kid and he grew up to be an obstacle adult in the
yeah,
second one.
they brought him back, which is fantastic.
the kid in Marriage Story is actually really good.
And so, but again, it's if it's
And he
just
made me not want to have kids.
You did a good job.
so Hobbs and Shaw, Terminator: Dark Fate, Tolkien with
I didn't see
about
that.
J.R.R. Tolkien.
Was it good?
It was Holt, right?
Nicholas Hoult. It's not, and
like Hoult.
Lily Collins, who I love. It's not a great movie, but as you're watching it, it's like you get it, and it's
Is it informative?
It's a very sweet story about Tolkien and his wife and how they met and everything, and his love of language and why he did everything that he did. It's about his friends that he made in college, and most of them.
Oh, it's about his love of language.
Yes, okay. and how he lost his friends in World War I, and his battlefield experience is what informed him for Sauron and everything else.
Oh,
It was really interesting.
Okay, I'll have to watch it. It's a little bit different than, say, the Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah. But so I enjoyed that a lot more than I thought I would. I mean, I went in expecting not a lot, and it was a little better than that. But Tolkien or Holt and Lily Collins were very good in that.
Did you see that Currents movie?
Hold on,
okay.
Don't be jumping ahead. Anna, which is the Luc Besson movie of the year.
I didn't see that movie.
It was a little bit better than some of the others. It had some name actors and supporting roles. I enjoyed that a lot better than like 3 Days to Live, the one with Kevin Costner.
I didn't see that.
It was fine, and some of the others. This was a better version of it.
It
was fun. I enjoyed it by watching it. If it's on again, I'll probably watch it
the
again.
last Luc Besson movie I saw that I liked was what was the one with Scarlett Johansson?
Lucy.
I liked Lucy.
I finished watching that this morning. Or last night. It was on last night. I watched that. Last Christmas.
I heard it's good.
It's a terrifically fine Christmas movie. Amelia Clarke, I'll watch just about anything she's in, and because she deserves so much better than the end of that garbage television show.
The show that showed no longer named.
Henry, is it Henry Young? Is that his name? He's going to be in The Gentleman. The
new
movie.
the movie from Guy Ritchie.
Yes, he's the villain. He's like the villain guy in that one. Henry Golding. Yes, I think that's it. I'm this is horrible. I can't know his name. But they had a really good thing. It goes on with the movie. Michelle Yeoh is in it. It's a perfectly fine Christmas movie that I'll definitely, if it's on, I'll watch that over and over again, over more so than a lot of the other ones. Godzilla, because that was so much fun. It was just fun. I enjoyed that so much.
Not on your list.
Tywin.
Oh, it is on your list.
Yeah.
Tywin was a great villain in that. They had a kid that wasn't terribly awful that I immediately
Charles
wanted to
Dance
die.
is good in everything.
He is
though.
good in everything. And Last Black Man in San Francisco.
Did not see that. Was it good?
It's a very interesting thing. I completely bought in the first couple of scenes, but the thing that I enjoyed the most about it was the way that it ended, because it wasn't quite what you thought about. And it was talking about it basically it's about the importance of the individual, and that you're not tied to the history that you think you have, but the life that you create. It was, I don't know that I'll revisit that one, but in the moment watching it, I very much enjoyed it.
That's how I felt about Peanut Butter Falcon.
And that's the thing. But if it's on, I'll probably look at some of the. And I think it was like very early. Like this is one of the first. I think this is the first feature for this director. But that's the thing. It's like and one of the movies in my top 10 is totally a feeling movie. But that's where I am at. So I don't.
So
have
your number 10 is?
I don't have a. It's just 10 movies. I don't have like a 1 through 10.
Okay.
So I'll say Blinded by the Light, which is about the I think it was the Pakistani immigrants in England and middle class England in the 80s, and he's introduced to Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, I didn't see it. It's good, right?
It was very enjoyable. It's based on a real guy who ended up going to the U.S. and seeing him over like 150 times in concert, and actually got to meet Springsteen. Springsteen gave the rights to use to his songs. It was a really enjoyable movie. It was very uplifting. It's weird the way that politics in the 1980s England and things that are going on.
I want to
now.
watch that movie. I didn't get a chance to see the Beatles movie.
Yesterday.
I didn't see it yesterday.
But Blinded by the Light was a very fun movie, and his friend who he was writing music for in the band is Dean Chapman. I can't remember his first name, but Tommen. the last Tommen from Game of Thrones.
Ah,
was his favorite.
okay.
But I enjoyed Blinded by the Light a lot. It was a lot of fun. Great use of music, and it was a good time. I like that.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and go with my number 2. My number 9. My number 9 for me. We're going to just go yo-yo-ish style.
Do whatever.
Yeah. Marriage Story. Adam Driver, Scarlett Johansson as a child of divorce. This movie really kind of gives you an idea. I was too young to really understand what was going on between my parents when they got a divorce. I was just kind of like, you know what? All right, I get it. And there's a kid in that movie, and you're like, okay, I can see why being a kid, and that can be very difficult for both parents. And you see the games that each parent plays, trying to utilize that kid against the other one. And as a child of divorce, you're like, okay, I get it. It makes sense. Parents definitely do that kind of shit. Very accurate portrayal of what it's like, I guess, to go through a divorce, especially when you have a child. Adam Driver knocks it out of the park in that movie. I was actually never a really big Adam Driver fan.
I first saw him in Girls and despised everything about him.
I've never seen Girls. I think he's kind of a goofy looking dude. I know, but everything I've seen him in since Force Awakens, I've liked, and he's slowly.
I only saw half of Black Klansman, but he was great in that.
I love him in Black Klansman. I love him in this movie.
What's Lucky, the Soderbergh movie about the heist at the race?
Oh, is it Coca-Cola 600?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Logan Lucky.
Logan Lucky.
I want to see that.
I haven't seen it yet. It's on Amazon Prime. I want to see that movie.
Also, Daniel Craig is
Daniel Craig's in that movie. I might watch that when I get home. Marriage Story is a fantastic movie. Like I said, for me, it was very relatable. And the acting is spot on. Randy Newman's score is like, it's a throwback to an 80s Randy Newman score.
You say throwback, but has he ever had not an 80s style score?
You know what? To me, it's a throwback. It's just throwback in general.
I mean, I think they
kind of
chose
the
him because
sound.
that's what he does.
And hearing Randy Newman's voice, and I'm doing the Randy Newman song.
You're in your 9th movie now?
Yeah, I'm
But he's just jumping around.
I just went back to me. I'm going to go to you, and then I'm going to go back to me.
Well, the thing is, I did too many honorable mentions, and I started at 9, so come back to me when you're at 8.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, well then,
first.
fair enough. So for me, yeah, Marriage Story is my number 9. Jerry?
I'll go ahead and list Rise of Skywalker. Again, I don't have
So both of you guys have Rise of Skywalker.
I can't.
Chapter 9 at 9.
And the thing is, it might even be higher because I'm not putting them as I'm just listing different ones. Like if somebody else names one, I'm going to go ahead and jump in because I don't want to. I want to have the different movies later on. I'm not going to pretend I'm not going to watch that every time it's on.
Every single time.
I enjoyed so much of it.
It's not going to ever be on. It's going to be on Disney Plus.
So it's going to be on all the time.
I don't see myself. I know what. You know what's amazing? I've yet to watch Endgame a single time.
I watched it 4 times on Disney Plus since I got it.
I think it'll still be on TNT for the basic cable until that contract runs out, which I think they have for a while. Because Last Jedi premiered like a couple weeks ago.
I've watched Last Jedi 5 times.
But I mean I've seen it 3 times. I see more things and I like more things. As much as and I'm giving the
I love the surprise
we.
lightning scene. The surprise lightning.
Oh, it was
shit.
it was so good. So many things that they did, and as you had referenced in our chat about Force Unleashed, when Starkiller brings down the Star Destroyer,
you finally get to see it.
They have upper level powers and something like that. I like the Rey character an extreme amount. I like the fact that she made her staff into her lightsaber, which could possibly be a double-ended bow staff lightsaber.
That gold saber's dope.
Yes, there's so many.
There's a lot of things I like about the movie.
Adam Driver got better every movie.
He got so good in that. No. I up until that movie came out, even knowing what they were going to do with it, it's like, I hate that character. Despise. No way. Nope. They redeemed him. I get it. Yeah,
of course. I told you from the start it was going to be a redemption movie about him.
It doesn't matter what they want to do. But I have to buy the redemption.
No, but the thing was, you always liked Vader.
Yes.
You did not like Kylo in the first movie. You did not.
I loved Kylo. I thought emo Kylo Ren was one of my favorite Twitter pages ever created. It's hilarious. I bought into the whole Kylo Ren thing. I loved it.
I did rewatch The Force Awakens. I saw some cool things he did that I forgot about. Like even in the first scene where he
stops the
blaster.
Yes.
I screenshotted a emo Kylo Ren response on Twitter this morning. It was like, here's the beginning. The most sexuality in a Star Wars film is when Rey and Kylo touch fingers. I was jealous. I thought Luke never got to touch anybody's finger. Mark Hamill. Emo Kylo Ren. Uncle Luke is just upset because the last time someone took his hand, it was literally.
But no, what was? And do you know what the blaster catch is a callback to? the Empire scene where Han Solo shoots at Darth Vader during
shoots
the
at Darth
betrayal,
Vader.
but the technology so they could do it much better.
They can
actually
freeze
just
it.
held it there. Yeah, it was so much better.
No, and then with Rey, when she's sitting there talking to Luke on Octo, and she's got the hood over the thing, and it's the shape of exactly like the Emperor's hood when everything. It's like, no, there's a lot more details.
Well, no, there's
in that.
a lot of good things in that movie.
I enjoyed it, and I'm not going to pretend that I'm not. Oddly, there's actually one actual plot hole. As much as many people try and say it and they don't know what it is, and nobody's said anything about it. I'm not going to point it out until somebody says something.
Is this like the cell phone?
No, but it's similar to that.
Okay.
But it's a legitimate thing in there, and nobody's pointed this out as the actual thing.
I want to know.
Oh no! If you guess it, I'll absolutely
Fuck
tell
that,
you.
come on.
Nope.
No, see, for me, no.
But I like that. I'm not going to pretend. I when I finished watching the movie, it's like, man, I really like that. And the times I've seen it since, and it's like, if that's on, I'm totally watching that.
I fell asleep the second time I watched it. You know what? I don't like the first 20 minutes of that movie. It has nothing. I like what I'm seeing, but I don't like the way it's edited. I don't like the way it just feels so rushed.
Rumor coming out is that there'll be a extended version coming out with about 20 more minutes.
I hope it fleshes it out.
And a Disney Plus version will be the full 190 something.
I
minutes.
hope.
Give it to me.
You know, give it to me because I want to like that movie. Because trust me,
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Remember how he said, like, oh, yeah, I watch all the views and go in blank, but he already said, I'm going to put 1917 on my list, even though I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Come
well,
on.
1917 has a
Come
lot of
on.
things. 1917 has a lot of things going for it.
Contradictions.
Yes,
Those
critics.
contradictions.
Yeah, critics.
No. See, listen. No, the things I
Some
don't.
people here, that's John's, how John looks at the movie. Critics or crickets?
The
Critics
things,
or crickets?
the things I don't like about there are just certain aspects of that movie I just don't like. I don't like the way it's shot. I don't like the way it's edited. It's so rushed. The initial Millennium Falcon chase scene feels so just. I don't like the way it's edited. It drives me nuts. And I noticed it the first time when they showed that scene. They showed that scene during a Sunday night or Monday night football game.
Yeah.
And they showed that scene. I'm just like, oh no. I saw it. I'm like, I don't like the way this is being edited. It cuts and cuts and cuts and cuts and cuts. It felt rushed. It genuinely felt rushed, even though what's going on screen isn't being. Yeah, it's a chase, but it should have been rushed.
No, that's totally what they're trying to do is make you feel faster and quicker because they were being chased.
Yeah, but no. But I mean, look at The Force Awakens when they're chasing throughout the.
It's a different chase
Because
because they're not standing still as people are coming after them.
it's just they rushed it. I guarantee
This
that
people who
scene,
don't make things talking about people that make things.
that scene's probably about 5 minutes longer in the uncut version. It's probably
No, it absolutely is not longer.
I bet you it is.
Because then it's just slower, and it's like, oh, we got plenty of time. They're like, so they don't even know where we are. No, they had to artificially make it quicker, and that's how you do that.
I don't like the way
It's the funniest thing is everybody talks about the editing scenes in Batman Begins and Dark Knight. It's like, oh, we'll see the whole thing. It's like, Christian Bale's not actually a ninja, so they have to do it close and tight to make it look like that.
Oh yeah, I get that, but just
No, people don't because they say, oh no, it's like, why didn't you show the whole thing? It's like, you idiots. He's not actually a ninja. They're cutting it quicker and tighter to give the chaotic feeling of the people that are fighting him because he's everywhere. But he's not.
Yeah.
So they're artificially making that happen.
except for
It's an intentional. It's not bad editing. It's absolutely correct and intentional editing. Royal you are putting on things that you think you know about what's going on in that scene. If they could actually get a ninja that could do all that, they would have a wide shot and just let him kick everybody's ass.
except for
Bruce Lee's not around.
except for the fact that
The one was on yesterday. I almost watched the end of it.
I'm you love no one's
Nobody's
bitch.
bitch.
So side note, no, Snyder did a scene with Batman that's better than anything.
The Warehouse.
The Warehouse.
I was just about to bring it
Better
up.
than anything no one ever did with Batman.
Why does that work? Because he's 50-year-old Batman and he's not as quick, but he's stronger. So he doesn't have to be
Roided out
quicker.
Batman.
50-year-old Batman wouldn't be stronger.
And also, but the thing is, they make you feel that he is by showing the workout and the tire pill and the bigger version of
When
it.
he punched the guy and the way he went down, I was like, good God.
And but
Very violent.
But the whole thing is like his introduction to them was, "I'm here, you come to me." That's not how Bale did it. Bale was the one sneaking up behind them and taking.
I love how we got to see Batman get stabbed and then pull it out and then stab the fucking guy.
That
with
was
it.
pretty good.
All right, so let's go.
My number 8.
But
your
again,
number-
so I'm in with Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
I like.
I'll
this.
watch it again. I want to go see the first 12 minutes of Tenet. Shut up.
We don't want your pity.
All right.
I'll give you my pity.
So my number 8 movie,
I need a nap anyway.
led by a kid, Brightburn.
Fuck!
Right?
You forgot that as
This
well?
was your homework.
I know, no. And I told no. I gave you the homework, and I told you I was going to throw that. I mentioned it in the
It
group
was one
chat.
of the last ones you said.
Yeah.
And then I completely forgot to throw it on the list.
I love Brightburn.
As soon as I put that in, it's like, well, Josh is totally putting that on his list.
It was already on, yeah, for sure.
No, I forgot to add it.
I watched Brightburn 3 times, but I love Brightburn. Just the idea of evil Superman kid. I just wish we actually got it with Superman. And then it was I loved how it was gorier than I thought.
I mean, that's what Snyder wanted to end up. He wanted to end up with Injustice.
Yeah, and it was gorier than I thought, which was great. Fucking pulling the glass out of the eye, which I can relate to right now. Oh boy! And then the kid, the way the kid is so good at just. He sits there and he's like a normal kid, and then things start happening, and he just starts like the way he starts looking down on people like John does is just so fucking great.
Well, how did you not pick this?
James Gunn and his brother. No, James Gunn and his brother knocked that movie out of the fucking park. I love that movie.
Which brother? The actor brother that plays Rocket or stand in for Rocket? Or
No, it's his writing brother.
Well, because he's got like 5.
Yeah. But no, the brother that wrote the movie and directed it, or not directed, but the brother, him and his brother wrote that movie.
Okay, yeah. No, I mean, he was a producer.
Did you see?
Well.
Did you didn't see Brightburn?
No, but I'll get around to that one.
It's fun. It's very fun.
I'll get around.
I think it's on Amazon now, or it's on Netflix.
It's a little dark fun, but it's very fun.
It's dark as fuck. Are you kidding me?
The guy from The Office, Roy, who plays the dad, is good.
Oh, I met him. He came to the Charlotte Knights game for a signing thing.
He's good in the movie.
He's great. Whenever he signs any office picture that's him and Pam and Jim, he'll say he'll go from Roy. He'll say it's like Roy, screw that whore.
What? Who plays the mom? Famous actress. I forget her name.
Oh,
Elizabeth Banks, maybe. No.
Yes.
It is. Is it her?
Yeah.
She was good. It was it's just all around fun movie. The fucking kid is just great. I love him. And he gets creepy. He like breaks the girl's hand and then he like shows up at her house and she's just like terrified.
Oh yeah, it's actually one of the better horror movies of the year.
Yeah, it was good.
So for me, I'm gonna go and throw Brightburn into my honorable mentions because it's gonna be really hard for me to redo my list now.
Yeah.
It's either that or Shazam, and I honestly I can see myself.
That is such a toss up because they're just different.
Well, they're completely different, but
Yeah.
they're not at the same time because Shazam is actually darker than you thought it was going to be. The villain in that movie. So, by the way, the next movie on my list was actually Shazam. Shazam's on my list.
That was my number 10.
I've watched Shazam now probably about 10 times. I thoroughly enjoy that movie. It gave me it's the first DC movie that gave me hope that they can have fun and that they can finally do Superman maybe the right way. They understand the source material.
There's a nice twist at the end. I didn't think we were going to get the kids that early.
Yeah, that the fact that we got that.
That was a shocking twist.
Yeah.
And
then-
that's a recent addition to the Captain Marvel Shazam.
Because you never heard about any
Heroes.
crazy casting that was going to lead to anything that
no.
made you think about that. So they did a good job keeping that under wraps.
Hold on. I can't remember the name of that fucking worm at the end.
Fuck.
Mr. Mind.
Something like that.
Yeah, Mr. Mind.
No, it's not something like that.
No, it is Mr. Mind. No,
It is that.
No, the fact that we get Mr. Mind at the end, which I always forget the name of that fucking worm. Anyways,
But he's with Savannah. Like, Savannah's going to be back.
he's gonna be back.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
And then
Savannah at one point had his perfect children was also on his team, and I think they eventually defected to help out the Marvel family.
Yeah, so it's a thoroughly enjoyable movie. It's actually funny, and I think Levy crushes it.
Yeah.
And even though
He's so good.
Well,
He's,
and like
we
he's
said-
so likable.
I really
very likable.
wanted John Cena, and I was questionable, but he nailed it.
no, granted, once again, I like to say that I don't think
The
he
choice-
doesn't nail the tone of the kid that they brought in to be. They don't match.
The thing is that this is the one thing that they did is that they made Shazam an adult version of Billy, whereas like they're two different people.
Yeah.
And so that was the weird thing and also the moroseness and weirdness of Billy just wanting to use that. I get a kid, and this is the dumbass. He was a dumbass kid.
No.
Is that it was big. Basically, it was big.
It was big.
But Zachary Levi is so likable. Freddie Freeman was great. I like the other additions with the other kids and what they did with
It
that
gets
style.
real Game of Thrones around here.
And again, Jamin Hansu with his third superhero appearance in about 8 months.
Yeah,
So-
he-
Two in the DC universe.
Yeah, two different people in DC.
and Mark Strong is always
Always
green.
fantastic. Oh, but technically his second version in the DC because he was Sinestro in Green Lantern.
Yes, he was.
And he was also in This is not his first. This is not even his second or third. This is his fourth comic book movie?
Well, two Kingsman movies.
Yeah, no, he's in Kingsman. He loves comic book movies. He was also in fucking Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another comic movie.
So four, at least four different.
We're pretty sure he
things.
played the same guy.
He loves him and Mark Millar get along very well. So yeah, that's my next. That was my 7.
Shazam's, yeah. I got it. That's my 10.
No, that's my number 8. Excuse me.
So I've listed 2. So I'll go to it. And again, I don't really have an order on these, but the next one I'll just go ahead and say Endgame because the way that it's finished everything was unbelievable. As many callbacks as they made into all of the other movies that now when you watch those that there's payoffs. The fact that they made Ultron, Age of Ultron, and Thor: The Dark World so important when everybody
No
was
one
like
gave a shit.
when they weren't perceived as that important.
I
to
like
begin with.
Age of Ultron.
I love Age of Ultron because it
Just
introduces the
rewatched it.
Vision and
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch, and those are my 2 favorite comic book characters.
Yeah.
And
Well,
again,
James
And I love
Spader.
James Spader.
but and again, the only thing, and we spoke about this, it was the Pacquiao whatever fight, and so that's why it's Saturday night's numbers were down. It I mean, it made 175 million. It didn't make the 200 because basically from 4 p.m. On the East Coast and 2 p.m. on the West Coast, so the entire rest of Saturday night, nobody went to see movies because they were watching the fight.
I mean, it ended up neck and neck with Avengers 1. So
Yeah, no, I mean it was really close, but it would have done better. But it was perceived as like, oh, it's a little dip, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
But and also one of the greatest.
I went and saw the movie that weekend.
I did too, but I was gonna say Rise of Skywalker is about to be the lowest grossing. So actually might fall behind Rogue One.
It'll be the
Some of the prequels are like 800 million.
No, it's not the low of the new Disney movies.
Oh, the Disney ones?
yeah you got to qualify, like take out the other 6 it's ahead of. So the 7 because it's gonna
The
be
way
ahead of
John loves
Solo.
to pick stats.
No, it's gonna fall behind Rogue One.
No, yeah. So in its per Disney Plus stats, it's doing very poorly.
But again, Rogue One is an outlier because of the nature of the other thing. But neither here nor there. From the moment Captain America, from the moment Captain America picks up the hammer until he says "Avengers Assemble," and Josh Whedon did such a great job by not using Avengers Assemble to allow them to choose the right moment to where growing up, I'm older than all these guys here, and I've gone through and seen so many horrible, terrible movies, never think that it would come anything close to this. And then from the moment that Sam says, on your left, and that Captain America has backup when he was willing to die to stand up for these guys, and then everybody lines up and battles up, and he goes Avengers, and then at that moment, every single one of us in that theater was fighting Thanos with him, and we were Avengers.
That's the whole point. They waited they had that whole scene where everybody showed up to give that little nod to the fans. We're all Avengers.
We're all Avengers.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
you are fighting with us. And
Geek tears.
They literally they never need to say that ever again. That's the only time Avengers Assemble, those 2 words together, should ever be said in the MCU.
Unless Galactus is right there, maybe. Like I don't.
But again, the Fantastic Four would be leading that, so they don't need to do that.
Yeah.
But it should never be said again because they don't need to. They can still do. It's like let's go whatever any other thing at any point in time. But the way that hit, and he hits the Avengers, and in that pause before the assemble, he catches Mjolnir.
You know they're gonna make a pun out of it, right? There's gonna be a scene where they go
there'll be a
Avengers
joke or
Assemble,
something.
and there's like 4 guys,
Yeah, two of them. Come on, guys.
and one of them's like retarded.
Where is it? The Great Lake of Avengers. Where is it? But and
It's gonna be Spider-Man that does, or Deadpool. Deadpool's gonna do it.
but I'll watch that so often. So I mean it finished everything. It works on itself. It has so much more storytelling depth that you thought as you were referring to Rise of Skywalker, which started off as a sprint and continues to sprint the whole time. Is Endgame started off with the walk, and it picked up some pace and it slowed down and it gave the beats to work with some of the things that were going on. I
remember when Josh and I went to go see that movie and they cut off Thanos' head. I'm like, credits.
Right now, bam.
Credits. I was
Rabbit.
like, oh shit.
No, and when they first started the movie the first start of the movie, when the scene left black and you saw Hawkeye with his family, I said, "No, they're not. They better.
Oh, yeah, I remember you saying
monsters."
I remember you saying that. You're like,
No.
I was at the theater, and it's at start time. Instead of doing the trailers, they actually started the movie, and so I ran out and talked to the game. But it's the first look at the scene is like I went,
Yep.
"Oh my god!"
Right away. Come on.
They it's like, no, we're not going to give you any reprieve from the last movie. We're going to kick you because you're closer to to our foot.
And after rewatching, because it's such a long movie, you realize how good the scene Tony is, where he's all emaciated and comes back and starts bitching at Steve.
Oh,
And then he just fades.
It's like every moment of every disagreement, he now feels that he was right and he's wrong because Cap's always right. And
I agree.
and
so Cap's my favorite character. Like, why is Cap your favorite character? He always does the right thing. They're like, you're so gay. I'm like, I know. I like villains too. I don't know, but Cap just does it for me.
But
It's
it
like
was
my Jon Snow.
It was so referencing back to the interview where Chris Evans said the complimentary things about Scarlett Johansson. She asked, "Is like, would you ever go back?" And throughout the interview, he was saying, "You know me, I'm trying to get out of this every other time." And so he's just one of those taciturn guys that it's like, I don't know if I want to do this because it's hard, but I want to do something else, but I can't. Like, I want to direct, but I'm not a writer, so all the good things are already gone.
They're an 8-minute time travel away.
So he said,
back at any moment.
But basically, what the gist of it is like, if everything lines up, yeah, I'll come back. I mean, he didn't say that, but he didn't say no. And she called him out. She said, "You absolutely didn't say a hard no." I said, "No,
well,
I'm not saying
they,
no."
they left it on the table with the scene with Ant-Man when they sent time through him.
Yes, and the other thing is, but he said is like it finishes in such a way that unless it's a great story, it's like and again, you don't need to.
And it's going to be a great story.
Oh,
Come back, Chris.
They won't.
You really think Chris is going to be like Galactus? No, I'm going to sit this one out.
No,
Get your ass in there. Or Dr. Doom.
And again, this is, and I think I've said this on the podcast, is being in an MCU movie is the closest thing an actor ever gets to a full-time job. Because as often as you want to come back, they'll have you back and they'll give you money, and it's like it's security you don't have as an actor.
They're getting paid to do voiceover work for the What If series.
Chris Hemsworth could just be like, you know what? I feel like saving Australia. Sign me up for 3 more.
It's like, hey, I just donated $1 million. It's like, here, give me a movie. And
what did he get? 70 for Endgame?
Yeah, he and Bradley Cooper. Bradley Cooper got like $57 million
for Rocket.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I think
Rocket's a big part of that movie.
Well, he's huge, but I also think is like for the other movies, probably signed on for like 100,000. So this was the we're making stuff
back
up.
end.
This is the making up stuff.
Well, the best part is when when Tony snaps him and the space whale is coming down on the tiny raccoon.
Oh God, so good.
Great scale shot. Poof.
Punch. That was the other thing. It's like there's so many great. Giant man jumping in and punching the space whale and that thing dropping.
I think we like the space whales more than anybody else in the country.
No, my favorite.
We can't stop talking about the fucking space whales.
I personally think my favorite scene of all the adventure movies is probably the original Avengers. When
the
he's
whole
like,
punching it?
I'm always angry. That's my secret.
It's a dope
And
scene.
that's my favorite scene. It's always been my favorite
That's
scene.
a very good
And it
Will.
probably always will be my favorite scene because it's so perfect. Everything. And then they do it's the quintessential Avengers shot where they're showing all the Avengers, they're all screaming at him, and they're in a circle, and they do the whole turn. Joss Whedon nailed that scene out of the park.
When I walked out of Endgame, the first thing I said to the people I was watching was like, they put a fucking flying horse in it. A fucking flying horse was in this movie.
Pegasus.
And it lived, and that was, it's like, that reveal when all the heroes and everybody comes out, and even Howard the Duck when he shows up, and all of the, That's my favorite scene of anything I've seen.
Holding his Tommy gun. That's the best. That's the scene of the century.
It's
the best scene I've ever in movie history.
How it's like, how do you do something with like 30 leading characters and you put them all in there and it makes it work?
I don't know.
I enjoyed it. So
I
much.
love that scene a lot, but I'm clearly biased. I love the Holdo run. Or maneuver in Last Jedi.
But it was the year before.
Year before, no. I was saying forever. That's like arguably my most favorite scene ever.
One of the things is like so many reviews are like, oh, this movie like completely counteracts The Last Jedi. It's like everything they did in there like built on that. Yeah. The final, you see the Star Destroyer exploded over the moon of Endor, the forest moon of Endor, as opposed to the ocean moon of Endor, and it was obviously destroyed by a Holdo maneuver. Yeah. It's you see it. I didn't notice it the first time. The second time you see it's like, oh wait, it got split in half. It got Holdoed.
Yeah, I love the Holdo maneuver in that movie.
Yeah, that was. I remember when that happened. I just went. Like I don't think I'd ever seen anything like that.
No, they never have.
First time anybody's ever done anything like that.
It's like,
amazing.
How come no one's ever thought about it?
The way it just went silent
because the heroes died,
and the lightning cracked,
and it stayed, and it sat, and it just sat in that silence.
Which is why when I would rewatch Attack of the Clones, the whole seismic scene, the way they use sound, and you see that.
Oh, that was really cool.
Wow.
I would say the Holdo maneuver.
You're like,
The Holdo maneuver is the perfect theater scene.
Yes.
Like watching it at home just does not do it near justice. You see it in theaters because it's all dark and then it's. Whoosh.
I have a 75-inch television that makes it work pretty well. I'm thinking about upgrading to 88. Next movie.
I just want to put an obnoxious television in my room. I got a 65 outside, but I never leave my room. So I'm like, and I watch enough TV where I'm like, let me get a small dresser and get the biggest thing I can.
I have a 65.
A California King and like an 80-inch TV in just this regular size room.
I had a 65 inch.
I don't even live in the master.
You've heard the Kevin Smith story, right?
His 100-inch TV.
His 100-inch TV from Sony that they had to bring it on like an 18-wheeler that they couldn't even get down the road. And then it's like, can we put this in the bedroom? And so basically it's his California King bed, no room, and then the TV.
That's going to be me. That's going to be me. Yeah. California King bed. Yeah.
It's actually pretty funny. So your next movie. Let's go ahead and just start running through these.
Yeah,
off.
we're
kind of.
Because these movies are good.
They are all great movies.
All right.
I just realized.
Here's mine.
I forgot Far From Home on my list as well.
It's on mine. All right, so here we're going to do, this is my next one. It changes the pace a little bit. How to Train Your Dragon 3.
Love that movie.
I could watch Toothless sit in a pond and fish for 3 hours.
I've never watched any one of them because I'm a Pixar Disney animation snob, which is odd because I've seen the Addams Family and a couple other ones, but I've heard those are fantastic.
They're fucking.
And I want to see it.
They're
the second one.
And Kate Blanchett is in as a voice in this
in
one.
The second one.
Yeah,
She
okay.
comes in the second one because Gerard Butler is the dad. He's in the first and second. Kate Blanchett's the mom in the second and third.
Okay, I got it.
And no,
they're fantastic.
it might be my favorite trilogy.
I saw Hotel
It is by far, head and shoulders, my favorite trilogy of animated movies.
I saw Hotel Transylvania 3, which is shockingly good. Adam Sandler is a voice in that.
Wait, is How to Train Your Dragon a Disney Pixar?
No,
it's not.
DreamWorks.
And it's better than all of them. So yeah, basically, I could watch
because the second one won, right? The second one won the Oscar, didn't it?
No,
or the first one.
None of them won.
Okay,
it deserves it. But yeah, it's just Toothless is the greatest animated character that's ever existed. The kid
because he's a fucking dog.
Yeah, he's a dog and he does cat things too. But Jay Baruchel is that you say his name?
Jay Baruchel.
Jay Baruchel is the lead. He's great. It's just a good final chapter. It's got good closure. It finishes very well.
Didn't make a lot of money.
It's
sad.
It was the last one. Who cares? We got the trilogy.
And it came at a weird time when it was released.
I went and saw that by myself at night, and then there's a couple kids in the theater. I look like a pedophile, but I'm telling you, I love those fucking movies. How to Train Your Dragon 3 easily makes my top 10, and it's not. I think the second one might be my favorite of the trilogy.
Second one's definitely the best one.
Second one's very good, but it's easily my favorite animated movie of the year by far.
Your kid's pedophile story is kind of funny. It matches my Little Women story last night, where it was me in a Duke T-shirt and a black dude in a UNC shirt. The only two people in the entire theater.
You guys look like the angriest Eiffel Tower of all time.
And then he basically turned around to me and goes, wasn't that movie so good? I'm like, it was. He goes, I love Timothée Chalamet.
You guys should be
Me too.
You guys should be a commercial about people coming together.
It's the Dave and Dan. Do you remember those Reebok commercials?
Oh my god, it was such a moment.
You guys were the biggest liberal commercial I've ever seen.
Lexi called me on the way home, and I'm like, dude, the funniest thing just happened. It's like the only two people in that movie, because the theater worker was like, so you're lucky you missed that 641, because I was trying to go to the 641. Why? He goes, that movie was sold out. I'm like, it was probably filled with women, wasn't it? He goes, yep. You're the only one in this one. Then this dude comes in later. I'm like, two dudes. Complete opposite of what the last showing was. All right, so my next movie is Jojo Rabbit. I don't think either one of y'all saw this movie yet.
I might see that today.
Taika Waititi knocks it out of the park. You never thought you could actually make a movie about the Holocaust and World War II and Hitler be so fucking funny. And then Sam Rockwell is in it.
Who's good in everything.
Who's good in everything. Scarlett Johansson's awesome in that movie. And then it also has fucking Reek from Game of Thrones, who you actually like in the movie. And what they do with him and Sam Rockwell's character, you gotta love. It's a great movie. It's funny. It makes you feel. And in a movie that's so terrible, Taika Waititi, and so funny, there's a couple scenes in that movie where you're just like, oh, shit. I can't believe I'm actually like feeling this, watching this hilarious movie. I personally think he should have been nominated for Best Director. That's how much I like that movie. I said it when I saw it. I'm like, this Taika's shot at getting Best Director now. Looks like he's not going to get it. But, I mean, overall, you guys got to watch that movie. It's
I'll definitely eventually watch because Scarlett's in it and I watch everything.
It's heartfelt, and the kid is actually really good. The kid in the movie is fantastic. And
he looked like a lot of fun at the Golden Globes. Taron Egerton even responded to him, and it's like, you're great. He's like, ah!
The use of music in that movie is fantastic. Taika is probably going to end up being one of my favorite directors when it's all said and done. The things he's made so far have all been fantastic.
One of the other things I've seen is Christian Bale's Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah, I read that.
That's what I've been reading.
That's
what I said.
Morning, yeah.
I can't wait.
I mean, I hope.
Well, there's Stormbreaker. He's got to get Mjolnir back somehow, so it's going to happen. All right, so that's my number 7. Jerry.
I will go ahead and list Stay Far From Home. And as soon as I saw this movie, it's like every movie that came out this year, I can't imagine that any one of them is going to be a movie I see more often than this one.
Far From Home?
Yes, I loved every
my favorite movie.
bit about it.
I like it's on my
I
list.
haven't even gotten to it yet. Yeah.
I liked it more than Endgame.
I liked every bit about it. Tom Holland is the only person who should ever be Spider-Man. Zendaya is unbelievable as MJ. The interaction of
Jake Gyllenhaal knocked
Jake
it out of the
Gyllenhaal,
fucking park.
the fact that they got Peter Billingsley back from Iron Man to be in this,
Full
circling back
circle.
to that, and
Kevin-
when Civil War came out and they have the barf technology, I said at that point in time, it's like there's no way that they're going to spend that much money on this and not have it pay off. I thought it was going to be in one of the Avengers movies, not realizing it was the setup for Far From Home. And honestly, and that's Danger Room technology.
It is.
That's Danger Room.
That's
technology.
Danger Room tech. It's gonna happen.
It could be used for something. But I thought everything about that, the interactions with the high school kids, JB Smoove is the additional teacher,
Hilarious. Him and the Ambien.
all of the things, the entire airplane misadventure of him trying to sit next to MJ to artificially start dating, and then Ned,
the drone scene was the bus,
and then Ned and everything immediately. It's like, oh well, we're dating now because they ended up sitting next to each other. Everything about
how they mature,
everything about it. The fact that as I'm watching it, it's like, man, Fury seems like he's off. Well, there was a reason for that.
It's not Fury.
And then the subtlest of lines of the entire thing when they go to Fury when he's in Berlin, and he's Maria Hill says to him about the scrolls that are hiding, or the Kree or something. It's like a one line thing setting up that there's still like situations going on with the scrolls and the Kree, but it's immediately
sleeper cells. They're talking about sleeper cells.
But it's in a transition, so you don't quite hear it clean, and really the only line that you hear is the next one. But it's setting up like a version of Secret War going through the two kickers with J. Jonah Jameson coming back, and setting up with Sword. Everything about that I just liked so much, and there's no way that's on. I will watch that over almost anything else. That would be the movie I end up watching.
Just like Homecoming's on Stars, I watch it every time it's ever been on.
And I watch that one a lot, but I can go away from that one. But there's no way I'm going away from this one. Because there's more Zendaya in it. Was the first part, but the whole interaction, and then like her, it's like, oh, I figured it out, and it's like, no, you didn't, and it's like, I totally did. And then Ned's jealousness is like, well, I knew first. It was so good.
It's on my list.
It's the best Spider-Man movie.
Easily.
And then the fact that you see the villains throughout the movie in Europe as they're following them around, setting up the things that they're doing. It's so good.
Well, no, you kind of, the moment I caught that it wasn't Fury is that one scene where he's talking to Maria Hill.
Bitch, you've been to space.
Well, no, yeah. No, that scene where he like turns around to see Maria Hill, and she does that scroll thing, just like the shoulder thing, like what?
Which is intentional.
Which is an intentional thing. You're like, oh wait a second. I know that. Like, oh, it's not them. I caught that the first time I saw that movie, but that's on my list. Since we go and talk about this movie,
Ben Mendelsohn's choice to use the accent that he uses for Talos is amazing. It's so ridiculous because he's an English actor, and it's some sort of
he's Australian.
Okay, Australian. So some weird odd accent that he uses, but it's great. It's fantastic.
All right,
it's amazing.
Your next movie. Oh. If it's on your list, go ahead and we'll just.
it is on my list, but yeah, I'll get to it. No biggie. Knives Out.
We don't have to talk about it when we get to your list.
I'll just make a brief statement when we get to it. Yeah. Knives Out was next. That's
on my list.
So just great acting, great writing. The dialogue's fucking great. Good twists. I like Chris Evans getting to be Chris Evans again.
When I said about Far From Home, that as soon as I saw it, it's like that's the movie that I knew that I'd watch more than. The only one that could possibly come close is Knives Out.
Yeah.
And Ana de Armas is amazing.
I love the guy that plays Zod, Michael Shannon.
I mean, the everything involving the
Don
dynamics
Johnson and everything.
This is the natural extension of a Clue movie, which they reference within the movie.
Yeah, I like how I thought it was going to be a movie about a whodunit, and then it was the whodunit about the whodunit.
Yes.
Which I was not expecting.
And the way
they gave it away in 30 minutes.
Yeah, and the way they turned it around with Chris Evans' character being not playing against type, the thing that everything about it, all the actors, all the writing, everything about and so you have Michael Shannon who played Zod, you have Chris Evans who was Captain
The
America.
kid from Stranger Things playing an internet troll Nazi.
The girl who's the one who was supposed to be Morgan Stark's adult version in that, and then Kay Callan who played Mama Thrombey played Martha Kent and Lois and Clark in The Adventures of Superman.
Oh, really?
The Dean Cain version one. And so, but I love that movie. It's so good. I'll watch that. I've seen that in the theater, I think 3 or 4 times. I'll probably see it again before
They're
it
talking
leaves.
about the sequel with Daniel Craig coming back.
Oh, Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig knocks it out of the
Amazing.
park.
Did he get nominated for stuff?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's getting nominated.
Yeah, good.
And he'll get nominated. Benoit Blanc
Benoit
is
Blanc, yeah.
fantastic.
and
was it
look-
CSI KFC?
And Lakeith Stanfield, he's actually
good.
really good in that movie.
He's like, they live in an actual clue board.
No, that movie.
It's absolutely on.
I love
my
Ryan
list.
Johnson.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
It is.
Ryan Johnson, man.
It is so good about that.
Please
because,
let him get that trilogy.
because it's absolutely. It's like, oh, you think it's about this, and it's not because they told you that it wasn't, and then they go something else. Just the scenes with the dogs when
I wanted to go and follow the
Elena
trail.
Dawes is when she's standing out there and the dog brings up the trellis piece and she picks it and she looks at it and she realizes it and the focus is on the foreground with Benoit trying to figure it out. She chucks it away and then the dog goes and fetches and comes back and gets it and brings it back.
I need to watch it again.
Definitely need to watch it again.
Every single time a family member lists the country that she's from and lists a different one.
Wrong. Every
Ecuador,
time.
Uruguay, Paraguay,
Well, yeah, 'cause
Brazil.
They're making fun of liberal hypocrisy. It's hilarious.
It was.
They're all caring and loving, but they don't really give a shit about you.
It's fantastic. I love that movie.
I definitely can't wait for the sequel to that movie.
What you got next?
My next movie is The Irishman. So I've started and stopped this movie probably about 8 different times.
You have to. You have to do things in your life,
Hell,
like
I
go to
did-
the bathroom and eat.
Hell, I did it last night before I went to go see Little Women.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great movie. It's probably gonna be. I hope it's not, but I feel this might be Scorsese's last hurrah as far as with the whole underbelly mob thing.
I mean, how much more life does he have left?
We get a throwback. We get throwbacks performances from Pacino, Pesci, and De Niro that you're just like
Harvey Keitel's
Literally,
and Harvey Keitel.
Literally, they're literally playing young De Niro, Pesci. And
Yeah, and then like I said,
Pacino.
the more I've watched it, and then the way I've had other people explain to me why they depict the characters the way they do. At first, the first time you see it, you're just kind of like, okay, this is a little off-putting, and then you kind of get an understanding of why they do it, and then the reveal at the end, you're like, oh, okay, now it all makes sense. It even makes sense why the curb stomp scene. It actually explains the curb stomp scene, so you're like, okay, you know what? I get it now. I'm all in. You rewatch it after you feel that way, and you're like, all right, you know what?
Yeah.
This is not his best movie, but it's top 4 for me.
It almost cracked my top 10. It was right there.
For Scorsese, for it to be his top 4 for me, it's a pretty big goddamn deal because I love The Departed. I love Casino, and I also love...
Departed and Hugo are the only 2 of his movies I've ever seen in the theater. It usually takes me a while to get around to it, but when I saw Goodfellas, it's like, it's fantastic.
I love Goodfellas.
I'll get to this. Casino I won't get to because I didn't care for
You like
Sharon
Sharon
Stone
Stone?
at that time, so it'll probably take a while for me to ever watch. But I mean, that's just a different version of Goodfellas. This one I might get to at some point. But I mean, it's every time I watch one of his movies, it's like, oh, I really like it. It's like Tarantino. It's like, although I do make the appointment to go see his movies in the theater, but Hateful Eight I don't ever need to see again.
That's my last one.
it's like,
That's in last place.
It's
for
like,
me.
whatever.
All right. Well, I'm glad we spent not 3.5 hours talking about that.
Well, it's not... Yeah, we could, but no, we're not going to. All right, next movie. Jerry.
I will go Little Women. And the reason that this is on there...
So I'm going to go... Since you already brought it, I'm going to go ahead and say this is my 3rd.
This is the first one I didn't see. So
This is my number 3.
So this is when I saw that this was being done, Greta Gerwig I first saw in Damsels in Distress, which is a Wilt Stillman movie. Who I'd seen plenty of things of him that I love all of his stuff, and it's like, oh, she's pretty good. But I was more Annalee Tipton was an actress in that I was more familiar with. But I've kind of followed Greta Gerwig, so after seeing Lady Bird, knowing that she was going to do this, it's like, oh, this is going to be pretty good. And then they cast Saoirse Ronan, who I love in everything that I've seen her in. I'd seen Lady Bird. She was in
Hannah,
which is the first thing I saw her in, which she was great in. Well, actually, no, the first thing was the Mark Wahlberg book about the whatever. It's from a long time ago. I can't remember name of that. But
The Lovely Bones.
yes, Lovely Bones, which I'd read, and it's like, oh, she'd be great for that. And but she
Did
was
not like
in
that
Elizabeth and Mary, the Queen of Scots, Mary Queen of Scots movie with Margot Robbie, and that was really good. I liked it. I don't think a
never
lot
saw
of
that
other people
movie.
did. But so I was really like that. I love Emma Watson. She was great in the Bling Ring, and of course is Hermione. And then watching this and knowing that I already like those actresses and I like the things they do, and Florence Pugh was the one that impressed me the most. It's like, this movie is amazing. And Laura Dern as the mom, and I was surprised by the casting of the dad.
That's why I brought that up in the chat. If you didn't see it, I'm like, well, I didn't know that he was going to be cast.
I didn't know, and that's that he's changed his entire course of his career since Breaking Bad. But I
was going to say since Mr. Show and Bob.
But I mean, that's a comedic thing.
Yeah, I know he was known for being a comedic guy. Bob Odenkirk.
But the Florence Pugh was so good in this, and I was unfamiliar. I'd never seen any of the other Little Women.
I haven't
things.
either.
So those the books are told linearly, so everything happens in order. So what Greta Gerwig did in this is why she may win the adapted screenplay. But I thought it was fantastic. All the performances by all the daughters were great. Laura Dern was like Chris Cooper. I kept waiting for him to all of a sudden be a jackass. He was great.
You actually like him in this movie.
He is so good in this.
I'm like, and I even mentioned in the chat. I'm like, Chris Date. This is a great movie. They managed to make Chris Cooper not come across like a huge cunt.
It was hard for I didn't have the affection that I guess that most readers have for the Timothée Chalamet character, because the only thing other thing I've seen him in was Lady Bird, and he was basically he played the same guy to me as my appearance. It's like the hipster guitarist that all the girls love, but it's actually a douche. So I was waiting for him to be an outright douche, but he never really was.
No, he's actually really good in that movie.
He's great in that.
That you never saw him in the Army Hammer movie.
Call Me by Your
Name. Really good movie.
But I enjoyed it, and he's being set up to be in a Bob Dylan movie from the transition from acoustic to electric.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And that's directed by who's directing that movie? Shit, I just mentioned it in our chat.
But I liked Little Women tremendously. I thought all of the actresses in it, and the fact that Florence Pugh got singled out for a supporting actress by BAFTA is terrifically impressive for her. And she was fantastic in Fighting with Your Family, playing Paige, the WWF wrestler. And she was in Midsummer, and she will be in the Black Widow movie.
James Mangold is directing that movie.
Yes,
that sounds like that's an Academy Award winning.
Well, I mean, he already
bait.
It's another version of his thing. But Little Women was fantastic. I enjoyed that so much.
That's number 3 on my list.
Shockingly, I enjoyed that so much.
Yeah, that's number 3 on my list. Go ahead.
Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
As you can see, our lists are completely different, audience.
Yeah. I mean, they just jump around a little bit. But yeah, Godzilla, King of the Monsters. I had all the hype in the world going into it. I thought it delivered. It was a good monster movie. People just don't like monster movies these days. They don't get enough credit. They looked fucking amazing.
Fantastic.
They were, oh my God, the fight scenes. Godzilla was fucking, it wasn't how I expected. Godzilla is chasing Ghidorah the entire fucking movie. Yeah. Just like, let's fucking go.
I love the scale that they made the monsters into the cities.
It's still not as good as the scale that the first Godzilla had, though. Gareth Edwards' scale for the first one. You're like, holy shit, he's fucking huge.
But most of that is because they shot it from the
ground up.
And that's because he's rarely next to another monster his size because there's barely any fighting.
Yes. The thing that I enjoyed the most about King of the Monsters
Halo jump scene
was the one that Ring of Fire is the best one of those ever.
When he snowballed the Mudo to death.
Is when they go to the secret underplanet place with all the nuclear thing, and it's like, where's those buildings come from? It's like, I want a whole movie just about how that was created.
I'm sure they'll get one if
Kong
v Zilla actually does well. All right, so we got Zilla.
Oh my God, Zilla!
Love that.
That's part of the whole movie. Also, Burning Godzilla was fantastic. We're not going to not talk about that.
That was actually
awesome.
That
was fucking sick.
I have to rewatch
just
that
watching
movie.
Boston just melt as he walks by.
That's why you like that scene.
So
I don't mind Boston as much as you do, and then I've also never been there, so that's probably why. But as he just walks by and he melts, and also I didn't think we could top the snowballing the Muto to death scene.
But we did.
And then when after the last nuclear pulse comes and you see Ghidorah's head, you're like, oh shit! And Godzilla's fucking eating him,
slurping him like
carving
spaghetti.
him down, fucking harping him down, and then all of a sudden, and just blast his last head into fucking oblivion. It was the coolest fucking thing. And then lightning burp.
Yeah, so good.
So for
and
me,
then the other monsters come and kneel. In front of him.
Oh my god! And he's just like on this little hill created of rubble, and just does the best Godzilla roar.
so ironically enough, on my list, the next 1, 2, 3, 4 movies have already been talked to. So Avengers Endgame is for me for after Irishman. What can not be said about that movie? The fact that it's not the top of my list is actually kind of surprising to me, considering the fact that Infinity War was my favorite movie last year. But Infinity War was the culmination of everything. I feel like Endgame was kind of the
Well, it's an Empire Strikes Back.
yeah.
Infinity War might top my decade.
Yeah, but not just that. But it was like the victory lap. It was a throwback, just hairs.
Well, Infinity War is easily able to be a better movie because it doesn't have to solve anything.
Yeah.
It can tell the story it wants and leave a problem.
Well, I want a Thanos movie. I want the actual Thanos movie. I want it to happen. Next movie would be Far From Home, and then because what can not be said about that movie? I actually liked it more than Endgame.
I'm so glad that Zendaya was in that, and I liked it so much because that's what got me to watch Euphoria. Because I wouldn't have chosen to watch that.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If you hadn't, I
So
probably
you
would have
gotten
watched it.
around to it.
I would, but it
would
would have been as quickly as soon, and I would have been ahead of the pulse.
Yes.
Let's put it that way.
which I know you love.
Yeah, I know. Hipster shit. Next day was
in front of you.
Knives Out was the next on my list. It's actually number 4 for me. I love that movie, especially given as far as what I saw, the political message and the social issues that movie brought out and talked about. I loved it. It's a movie about immigration.
It is yeah, because you watched that and well, once you get to the other one, we'll talk about
It's
that.
coming.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
And then Little Women was the next movie on my list. So right now, my number 2 movie on my list, because we literally just jumped all the way ahead because all you guys talked about those
We're
movies.
jumping to my 3 because we already talked about my 4.
Number 2 for me is Parasite.
Wow, I need to see it.
Parasite is number 2 for me.
Because this is the director that did Old Boy, right?
No. He did
Okja.
He did Okja, which I love.
Do I need to leave because I'm about to get spoiled?
No, you're not. I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'm not gonna spoil anything.
I'm just asking the other movies.
He directed Okja, and he also did the train movie with fucking Snowpiercer.
Oh, it's him?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to like it.
Yeah.
He did that. So this movie is expertly shot.
I love Snowpiercer.
Everything is the premise of the movie is basic. I don't want to
talk about it.
No, I don't want to talk about it. You just got to go in. Just go
No,
in.
I
not
don't want to
knowing
know
anything.
either, because-
Exactly. So I don't want to explain anything to you. I'm just gonna say it's beautifully shot, beautifully acted. The main actor, the male actor of that movie, apparently is the biggest actor in Korea. You can see why. The dude's awesome. I hope he knows English because I like to see him in English movies. Literally, who was it? Was it Boon Jo? His fucking name. I don't want to butcher
That
it.
sounds like you're trying to say a racial slur.
It does.
But no, the director of the movie, I do believe he came out and he won an award.
He won foreign language film.
Foreign
at the
language,
Golden Globes.
and he came out and said, literally, guys, don't let like 2 inches.
Don't let the 1 inch
The 1 inch barrier.
Well, don't let that 1 inch barrier, because it's true, man. Roma last year was one of my favorite movies. This year, Parasite's one of my favorite movies. Just
Brotherhood of the Wolf is a French foreign language movie, but it was when I saw it, it's like one of my favorite movies. As I said at the time, it's one of the favorite movies I've ever read. It's a fantastic movie.
Gotcha.
yeah. So just watch that movie, guys. It's hilarious. It's funny as shit, and then it just, like I said, something happens, and you're just like, oh fuck, and then So that's my number 2.
Okay. Jerry, you got anything we haven't talked about yet?
Actually, a couple, but I know one of them his, so I'll wait on that. I will say I'll go with Bombshell,
I didn't see that.
which
You can spoil it.
I forget. I forget how good Nicole Kidman is until you see her with a role with some meat in it. Because everybody, it's like Charlize Theron playing Megyn Kelly, and it's like, oh, she looks like her and she kind of sounds like her and everything. It's like Nicole Kidman is the other actress the other anchor who I can't think was the one behind all. She was fantastic. Margot Robbie was great. John Lithgow is the slobby fat villain in that thing. But
God, he does such a good job.
But Kate McKinnon's character is the one that she doesn't have a lot, but she does so much with it. It's always Robin Williams and dramatic. It's always comedians that can pull off dramatic roles that you don't expect because of all their ability. But the single greatest scene to me is at the end when Kate McKinnon's just reacting to Margot Robbie, what she does at the end of the movie. when they're giving the speech and they're doing this, you realize nothing's really changing. And Margot Robbie says, whose character's an amalgam, and she realizes, nope, this is not what I want to be a part of. And she grabs her stuff and walks off. And Kate McKinnon can't because she needs the job. And her reaction to how proud she is of her for being able to do that is she does so much with just so little about that. But I thought it was really good. I thought it was funnier than people would expect. And also creepier and frightening, but I thought it was really well acted and really well. And who's the guy? Jay? Who's the director of that? The Big Short? And,
No. It's Jay Roach directed this.
Yeah, Jay Roach. He's
not
great.
No, Adam McKay is the director of Big Short.
Okay.
Jay Roach is the guy who directed fucking Austin Powers.
Yes. Oh wow.
What?
Yeah.
No, this is really good.
A huge, yeah. Well, Adam McKay and Jay Roach have done fantastic jobs
Going to dramatic.
I mean, Adam McKay, and that's part of the reason why I think Adam McKay and fucking Farrell.
That's why they're splitting up
because
Dirty Sanchez is splitting up because of that.
Because he's just crushing it in that.
Which is odd because Farrell did Stranger Than Fiction as a serious thing before, and he was great in that. But that was Bombshell. I'll have that. I'll watch that again, and I thought it was really good. And at the end of the movie, it's like, oh wow, I thought it was terrific.
All right, Josh. Any movies we haven't talked about?
Well, I think my next one was Far From Home, but we already did that. So let's jump over to my number 3. A Jere suggestion. Jerry nailed this one. Ready or Not. It was the funnest movie I saw all year. It was just fun. I had no expectations. Good cast. The girl's fantastic to look at. She's
Samara Weaving.
Yeah, Hugo Weaving's niece.
Yes,
and she was fucking fan. Her reactions to things are just so perfect, and like it's almost like how like you really expect somebody to react.
Yes, I chose this movie because I thought, oh, Margot Robbie's got a movie. It's not Margot Robbie.
Nope, looks just like her.
And apparently they knew each other because they're both Australian. They grew up with a lot of the same acting things. I had not laughed in a movie more.
Oh my god!
It was the first.
John, you saw it, right? Yeah.
I was in when they're at the wedding and they reference the great aunt. They cut to her and she's just angry and and it's like, oh god! And I let out a laugh and like there was about 20 other people in there. Nobody's got it. And it's like, oh, they don't get what this movie is.
No, it's the movie I've suggested the most to people this year because I feel like not enough people have seen it.
It's a fantastic pairing with Knives Out.
Mm-hmm.
And Knives Out is a social class thing, and people were talking about like there was that movie that the politics were making the thing about hunting people whenever they have it's the rich people. That's not what Ready or Not was about. Ready or Not was absolutely a fraternity movie. If you want to be in the fraternity, we're going to treat you like the worst possible thing ever. And if you survive, now you're one of us. And we have to do that to anything else because of the...
Except for the twist, they die if they don't get you.
Which is it was the greatest thing because the ending, it gets to that and you really have no idea.
You think they're crazy the whole time.
Yeah, you think it's a crazy thing. And the end... John liked the ending, and it's like, oh, that made the movie. No, the movie made the movie.
No, the movie made the movie, but the ending's just icing on. It's icing on
the ending. The ending upped it levels. It was like, if it just had ended with all of it was, they were all crazy, and then he had to. That still would have been a 7 or an 8 because it's a lot of fun.
But the end,
and it makes it an outright straight 10.
Yeah,
and it is like, oh god. I am not a particular fan of horror / gore / any gratuitous thing. Like once we've all seen The Quiet Place.
Yeah.
Once she goes down the stairs and that nail gets thrown up, I know that the foot's going to happen, and I'm just waiting for it. And once it comes up,
it gets tense and tense and tense
because you know what's happening when she gets her hand shot through and she's clawing herself out of the thing, and I know what's going to happen, and I'm like, ah!
It was good. Oh god!
But it was so good. It fits into it.
The one girl who's getting fucked up and keeps killing maids by accident.
The daughter.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh my god! Why does this keep happening to me?
She shoots with the
crossbow. Second, the first one's the gun, and the guy goes, "She's wearing black."
It was so good.
And she runs off and does some coke to straighten herself up. It's like, I got this. And then comes back and goes, the guy sitting on the toilet watching the YouTube video how to use the crossbow. It was so 2019. It was great. The guy's like, what the fuck is this thing?
Yeah, I'm trying to get Lexi to watch that movie.
She'll love it.
I made her watch the trailer. She doesn't like horror movies, but the trailer basically
That's the thing.
It's not a horror movie.
She'll love it.
The trailer makes it come across like it's a horror movie. I'm like, fuck.
Remember?
Because I was hoping like, okay, maybe the trailer's not.
No,
it has a little bit of horror undertone to it, but it's not.
And again, because I see one horror movie every 6 months, And this was, and again, the only reason I said it was Margot Robbie. I'll go, but it's not her. It's Samara Weaving.
Close enough.
And which is and I swear to God, it wasn't until the credits rolled
Did you didn't realize it wasn't her?
Well, because I don't see her name, and then I look up in my phone. It's like, oh my God, what just happened to me?
But she was so good. I'm going to call her Samara Weaving from now on.
That chick's in.
She got a name. She's got a name.
She's in Smilf.
Yes.
The show on
Which is
Showtime was really good.
What's the guy? Adam Brody is the drunk
Yes.
one.
I love him.
No, the reluctant hero. He's great the whole movie. And then his wife, who he married in, and she used to be like her, but she's just a total bitch now. She's
like the
she's
rest of the family.
She's more like the family than he is.
Yeah.
And
I know the person who comes out of nowhere.
No fanatic like a convert.
Andy
She's totally a
McDowell,
convert.
who, where the fuck have you been the last 20
Asheville.
years?
She's been in Asheville.
She's fantastic in that movie.
Her daughter is the Margaret Qualley, is who Brad Pitt picked up on the side of the road at the hippies in Once Upon a Time.
The
one asking if she wanted to blow him on the
Yes.
way. Oh, okay, yeah.
The fucking scene where she fucking gears up and she gets the old gun and straps the shit around her, and she's got on some sneakers, a wedding dress, a strap full of shells,
bandolier.
full of shells, and a ridiculous gun, and she just goes, Jesus fucking Christ. and then the other scene where the convert, she grabs the gun off the wall and she lines up this gun. You think she's about to take a shot at her, but it's just an old fucking gun and just goes donk.
Nothing happens.
It's
a great movie.
It gets so tense. It's just fun. It's like that's the only way I can describe it.
Even when she's circling around in the kitchen hiding from the butler guy.
butler.
Oh my goodness.
That's a great, well shot scene, and yeah, no, I really like that movie. It probably should be on my honorable mentions.
I do like the fact that the brother-in-law ends up to be the pseudo hero, and the husband is like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you gotta go."
No, then I forgot this part.
no, the ending.
The end-
when he's
no.
like,
Oh,
"Please
no, no,
forgive
no.
me," and she goes, "Nah."
And then he. No, even before that, when he's like, "You're not going to forgive me for this, are you?" And she's like, "No," and he's like, "She's in here." He finally turns on her. You're
Yeah.
like, "What the fuck?" And then they start
Oh,
exploding.
no, and then
You're
they-
my second chance. Forgive me.
No.
And then when she goes out, the cops are coming. She's got no panic. All her adrenaline is gone. It's been dumped. She's just done. And
Covered in blood
covered
and
in
wedding
blood,
dress.
smoking a
She just
cigarette.
sits down, lights a cigarette. She's not even looking at anybody. She's like, the best exhale in a movie ever.
It is, because that's much like in Endgame, it's like we're finally Avenger. That moment we finally take a breath. Like, whew.
Yeah.
It was so shockingly, surprisingly
Who directed
better than I don't even know.
No, it was the surprise of 2019 for me.
It is a movie, and going back, and again, this is I don't watch horror movies, but this is one of the movies that if it's on, I will flip back and watch this again and again.
I made my girlfriend watch it.
And I will recommend this and it's a fantastic pairing with Knives Out.
Yeah, Matt Bettinelli Open and Tyler Gillett.
Yeah, it was a pairing. It was a couple of guys.
They nailed it.
But Ready or Not's also on my list. It was
made money. A $6 million budget made $58 million.
Oh, it's totally gonna.
It's a great return.
They love satanic shit.
It is. It
Southbound and Devil's Due and Ready or Not. I'm gonna have to watch some of the other movies.
It was just so much fantastically fun. It was funny. It was tense. It has the type of gore that it's like, oh God, this is coming up. This is awful. And the feeling of it,
It's over the top. So
but
it
the
works.
feeling of it coming up is worse than the actual what happens. I mean,
I
seeing
don't
her
know.
hand go through the nail is bad, but the leading up, knowing that that's what's going to happen, is worse.
I love how the
Yeah,
kid
but-
shot her and she fucking decked him.
Yes, and then
like,
threw him right into the well.
You don't expect the child. Oh, the children explode too, don't they?
Everybody.
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh no, because the kids run out of the room. That's the way they do it.
Yeah.
The kids are
'Cause you don't see 'em. You
And
don't see 'em.
I
wish.
I'm a sick fuck. I'm sitting there. Please blow the kids up. Please blow
I
the
was hoping
kids
to
up.
blow the kids up, too.
And then they run out of the room.
You know they did.
It's me and my roommate Jenny, and the kids run out of the room and go boom, and I just go yes. Fucking. She looks back. You all right? I'm like yes.
But that's the thing, is like the whole thing. There's a curse that's put on them. They have to do this if this game is chosen.
And
blah,
then
blah,
you
blah.
see the ghost in
and
the
you
chair.
don't think it, and then he
Oh,
appears.
the ghost and Sherry. He's there,
and he looks.
gives her
and
that
gives her the
nod.
and it's like, you survived. You won.
You win. All right, so
Because that's the thing. Is like it hits. And then there's that beat, and it's like, these motherfuckers were crazy and lying and doing this for no reason. And it's like, nope, they needed to do it.
well,
It
no,
was so
the funny thing about the whole what I thought was so funny about the entire movie is the fact that like they weren't really sure if it was real or not. No, we just have to do it. We have to do it because you don't know. Maybe it is real. And they're like, no, it's not real.
So
and then it turns out to be real, and you're just like,
so good.
Love that ending.
And that great aunt was just fantastic.
Oh, with her fucking scythe or whatever.
Oh, everything. Like her look, the haircut,
her eyebrows.
Everything.
Well, they shot the girl in the mouth with the crossbow, and she just goes over and finishes her off.
Yeah, it's like
she's fucking ruthless.
All right, we clearly love this movie, guys.
All right, number one.
You need to watch this.
Everyone needs to watch Ready
This
or
is
Not.
of all the movies. This is the one that I would recommend more than any other.
This is the pod pick of the year.
No.
For me, this is what I would recommend more than any other.
So you already got 50% of the pod.
Yeah, well, I mean, because
We need to make Josh watch it.
Yeah.
a lot of people aren't going to be fucking wanting to read subtitles, so I wouldn't say Parasite's the one I'm going to recommend to everyone. Yeah,
We're not talking about just pure quality film here. We're just talking about the most fun movie.
Brightburn, though.
Yeah, this is more fun than Brightburn. Brightburn's great, but this is more fun.
Okay, so my number one movie, I've been raving about this movie since the moment I saw it. It also helped that the first time I saw this movie was in 4DX, which, fucking perfect. You get to smell the tires, the burning rubber. You get the wind in your face. You get the water. My number one movie of the year was Ford v Ferrari.
It's also in my top 10.
It's your top 10. Ford versus Ferrari, first off, the acting. Okay, so once again, I like to read about movies after I see them, or before I see them, obviously. But this whole notion that it's like the best dad movie ever, which is something that came out after the movie came out. And I'm starting to think about, like, I'm going to test this theory out. So I showed my dad this. There's nothing spoiled.
Keep going.
There's nothing. It's a historical thing that happens in real life. How can you possibly spoil?
If you haven't read it, then you don't know.
Well, the premise of the movie is pretty self-explanatory.
You're being distracted. Focus on your podcast.
No, Jesus fucking. All right, so Josh is being ridiculous. So the movie's about.
I don't even know how he's insulting me right now.
The movie is about the fact that back in the 1960s, Ford was kind of losing the battle of coolness with other domestic vehicle automakers like Chevy. So in order to try and shift that, they wanted to go buy Ferrari and outright just buy them out. And Ferrari at the time, they were basically
struggling. Lots of struggling.
There was a lot of struggling.
They were hemorrhaging money on their racing side.
Yeah, so the racing side, so they were winning the Le Mans, the 24 Hours of Le Mans every year. So they tried to go buy them, and Ferrari ends up using that whole spectacle to leverage Fiat to go buy them out. So the whole movie is about one of the wealthiest.
It's a pissing contest.
The movie's about, honestly, they're not a rooting factor. You should never root for Ford or the big guy.
Which is why you have to have Lee Iacocca in there.
Yeah, so the whole movie is about how the second largest company in the world at the time, maybe number one largest company in the world at the time, decides to go out and spend $25 million to design a car to beat Le Mans or beat Ferrari
to win Le Mans
at the 24 or beat Ferrari at the 24-hour Le Mans, and that's what the movie's about. So you have Matt Damon playing Carroll Shelby, who knocks out of the park.
He'll help design all the cars that you ever would want from the 60s or 70s.
Or still to this day, any car that has the name Shelby Edition on it, you're like, oh, I want that car. So, and then
I'll let you know.
Yeah, I don't know why you're doing this. It's really funny. And then you have, I'm not trying to explain the entire movie. I'm just saying the acting's fantastic. The racing scenes are fantastic. I showed my stepdad this movie. He's like, he's a Chevy guy. So he didn't really give a shit about the movie. He's like, I'm a Chevy guy. Fuck this movie. I'm like, no, watch it. You're going to love it.
It's one of the few movies that I've ever seen that effectively puts you in a race. Because it's so hard, because you're sitting still and you're just watching things moving fast, and it's like, oh, I see that they're fast, but they're moving against other fast things, so they're not looking fast in comparison. But they found a way to put you. And Steve McQueen was so enamored of racing and Le Mans that he did his own movie on this, and it's dreadfully dull.
And they name drop McQueen in the movie because he buys one of Shelby's cars.
But it's one of the most impressive things because he has the cameras on the cars and on the track and does all the things, and it's at the height of the technology of following that, but you don't get a sense of the actual racing, whereas this you do.
Yeah, and then
Christian Bale's amazing.
As Ken Miles,
his relationship with
his son,
with Matt Damon as Carroll Shelby is great,
and his son and his wife. You buy
Katrina Balfour, who is who's in Outlander, who is beautiful.
You completely buy into their relationship and that family dynamic, and him as a human being. You're like, this is a difficult man, but he's lived a hell of a life. He fought in the war. You know, he loves the race. He loves cars. That's his life. and I'm not gonna lie to you, the way they end that movie, which really does happen, even though I started reading some other stuff and there's some ideas that he may not actually be dead. But it's just it's the most enjoyable movie and most enjoyable experience I had in the theaters. I took my girlfriend to go see it. She fucking loved it. I loved it. Showed my stepdad this movie. Like I said, he didn't really care about to see this movie. I took him to go see it. He absolutely adored it, which passed the whole old man dad movie, because it's the ultimate dad movie. Literally everything about the movie, the laughs, the jokes, it's a dad movie.
And we're getting to about that age. We just don't have kids.
Yeah, pretty much. The era in which it takes place, the old timiness, when men were men kind of thing. Just even though there's a strong, very, very strong white figure in that movie.
John Barenthal is fantastic in a very small supporting role as Lee Iacocca, and he's going to be terrifically overlooked, but he's the linchpin of the movie.
Oh no, he's fantastic.
He's
in that
great
movie.
in that.
I was actually kind of shocked, even though I don't really think Lee Iacocca in real life was that jacked and looked that good in a suit. But you know
he
what?
was a Texas
Whatever.
guy too, so I mean, there's no telling.
Who knows? But you know what? That's my number one movie of the year. This movie is I've yet to watch Endgame on Disney Plus. I've watched it multiple times when it came out on Blu-ray and DVD and 4K because I own the 4K. But this movie, it's going to be the ultimate. Whenever it's fucking on television, I'm going to sit there and watch that movie. Okay. Whether it's on TNT, HBO, whatever channel. I'm like, oh shit, 4 v 4 is on. Done watching it.
I need to get around to it. All right, I got to go soon, so let's just knock out my number one so you guys can go ahead and get your slander in. It's Joker.
I have no problem with that. I mean, because we discussed I don't like anti-heroes.
I got Endgame at 2.
It's a well-made movie. I just don't care.
You know what? Then here's the movie. I went in with the utmost high. Here's the movie with critic reception didn't sway me at all. Mm-hmm. I just didn't like the movie. Mm-hmm.
That was after your second showing. Your first showing, you were unsure, and your second one, that's when the hate came out.
I watched it on the second time, and I thought it was perfectly fine. Joaquin just takes you for such a ride the entire movie. It has the perfect combination of that guys, like the cast, like Brian Callen, even in a small part, and then the two that guy cops. I forget their names right now. Like,
Shea Willingham.
Yes, Robert De Niro does a great job. It ends well. It does slow builds, but it's not the amount of violence. They make the violence mean something in the movie.
And the thing is,
they
did a good job, because the ultimate violent act in the movie, you know it's coming, and it was still a shocking scene when it happened.
Mm-hmm. Everybody jumped.
It also has the single greatest uncomfortable laugh in any movie ever, at least in the last 5 to 6 years.
Fucks with you.
It's a great Joker laugh.
Well, no, not him, not his laugh. Like you as a person watching the movie, when he kills the guy who gave him the gun, and the little guy's there,
yep.
And he's like, "Oh, you can go."
The lock,
but the lock is above him, and so he's got to jump to get it. It's an outright funny scene, which shouldn't be, but is.
It was perfect.
But it's a completely uncomfortable moment, and the guy's like, I'm totally going to die if I have to talk to him. But he realizes I'm going to die if I don't talk to him. So he turns around so nervous, and he's like,
"Can you let me out?"
And then he lets him out, and he goes.
Well, he jumps at him too to fuck with him.
Oh yeah,
yeah. No, it's great. And then even before he kills the guy, and he goes, "What you doing, man? Just killed my mom. Or my mom just died. Celebrating."
Yeah.
Celebrate. Joaquin's just so perfect the whole movie. People say his performance is amazing. His performance is amazing. He's 98% of the movie. So
he is.
I mean,
he carries the movie.
He is the whole movie.
Listen,
the camera's on him the whole movie.
I don't hate on his performance. I think he did a great job. But at the end of the day, just the movie's not for me. And I wanted to like this movie so much. It was easily the number 3 most hype movie for me of the year.
It's going to be the movie I watch every single time when I'm hungover and have no serotonin left.
And here I am, two of the
dark place.
2 of the 3 movies I was most looking forward to of the year didn't do it for me this year. So for me,
what was the other one?
Don't make him say it.
Don't make me say it.
I forgot. What was
Rise of Skywalker.
Oh,
Rise of Skywalker.
That's your fault.
Endgame, Rise of Skywalker, and Joker are my 3 most anticipated movies of the year.
And you came out of Endgame unhappy.
I did initially.
They're still. I mean, that's
through
why
the first 2 viewings.
Endgame is number 2, strictly off of 45 minutes that are the best 45 minutes of cinema I've ever seen. It's 45 minutes.
Again, from the moment that he Captain America picks up the hammer to that.
The Last Jedi, similar, has an amazing last 45 minutes.
Oh, I've rewatched The Last Jedi about 4 times.
The last 45 minutes is about when the throne room happens.
I've rewatched all the other Star Wars movies to make me feel happier about what happened with Rise of Skywalker. But I mean, who knows? Maybe maybe I'll watch Rise of Skywalker again, and maybe the new version.
The
I don't
child in
know.
you is dead.
The
Just so
child
you
in
know.
me is not dead because listen, we haven't
You're
even
done, John. You're done.
We haven't even had a chance to talk about the
You're an
Mandalorian.
old
No,
man
fuck
now.
that. The Mandalorian came out and knocked it out of the park for that entire series.
Would you describe that as a Western?
Yes.
That's old man TV.
love
The
it.
kid in you is dead.
You're such a dick. Old men don't like Baby Yoda.
All
No,
he
but they
likes
love
are-
Westerns.
He likes westerns and dad movies.
I am getting old. I'm getting old.
I can see the grays coming in your beard as we
They're
speak.
coming out. I mean,
How is it? I'm a decade older than you,
I
and
think I'm starting to go
younger
right
at
here.
heart.
I think I'm starting to go right here. I'm not happy.
it's gonna
Oh,
happen.
it's the first, beards are the first place.
Yeah,
Clean
no, I
shaven.
got right here.
Yeah.
I got
Okay,
right here.
you can take care of that.
no,
It's
like
just one patch.
look.
No, it's a patch.
Let's go ahead and just talk about.
So you both of all your
I got a couple
movies.
minutes.
Yeah, so-
I've got my last move.
Yeah,
so
hit
current war. I will end up watching that.
You
a lot
liked it
more.
that much?
I liked it a lot. Nicholas Hoult is Tesla. Benedict Cumberbatch is Jackass Edison. Michael Shannon as Westinghouse.
I love Shannon's Westinghouse.
He was great.
He's great in that movie.
The whole thing with the rifle and the take the opportunities and the way that he wouldn't give the second chance and using Edison's hubris. I enjoy it so much, and even Edison, when he knows that he's beat and he's fighting in, and he says, "Well, maybe I'll just create something bigger." And what does he do? He creates motion pictures. Tom Holland in that. I will probably end up watching that a lot. I liked all the performances. I liked the time frame. I liked the story.
That movie should have came out 3 years ago.
You mean when it was finished shooting?
Harvey Weinstein, damn it.
But it was I enjoyed it so much, and I ended up buying books about that time frame just so I could.
Well,
read more about it.
I bought a couple books about Ford v Ferrari. And I want to buy a couple movies about the whole Edison thing because Nikola Tesla is something that's very has a huge interest of mine. So
Holt was great as Tesla.
did you guys do your most anticipated list, or you want to do that next time?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Actually, if we're not gonna be able to record for another 4 weeks potentially, we might as well just knock this list out real fast.
Yeah, mine's quick. I can do it fast because then I gotta go.
Okay.
All right, and I'm disappointed in 2020. The slate so far.
Hold on, you want me to list off the movies?
No, let him talk, and then we can rip him.
All right, number 1, Godzilla vs Kong. Number 2, Black Widow. 3, Tenet. 4, Eternals. Because I'm curious. I just have no idea what they're gonna do.
It's gonna be so interesting.
Yeah, I have no idea what they're gonna do. 5, Birds of Prey. 6, Ghostbusters Afterlife. 7, Wonder Woman 1984. 8, Bad Boys for Life.
Okay.
It's so interesting what they're gonna do with that. Bad Boys for Life.
It looks like they're going Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what they're gonna be doing with fucking
Vanessa Hudgens in it. It's on
Ghostbusters, because Ghostbusters does not give the vibe of it being anything like its predecessor. So,
Nope.
I'm very curious to see. For me,
I just want one movie with a kid that doesn't have fucking Finn Wolfhard in it.
true.
No.
So Denis. So for me, Dune was.
How's that not a porn name?
We know what he's going to end up doing.
Denis Villeneuve is doing a remake of Dune, which I'm very pumped for.
Step Brotherhood of the Wolf.
I personally like Denis Villeneuve.
I think that
who's
movie might be
directed-
good.
I liked everything he's done, especially Arrival.
Zendaya's in that. So
yeah.
I'm totally in on that.
Which one?
Dune.
Oh, yeah, all right. Is Batista in that? Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet as well.
I'm actually kind of pumped for Spielberg's West Side Story.
That'll be Christmas Day.
I like Spielberg and I like West Side Story. What can I say? I'm pumped for Maverick, the new Top Gun movie.
Oh, I'll see it. I'll see it.
That'll be fun.
I'll see it.
No Time to Die, the last Bond movie.
Not big on Bond.
You're not big on Bond.
I have only one want from this movie is that they don't kill Dr. Madeline Swan. Because the way they ended the last one was a perfect ending of the Daniel Craig stories with those 4 movies. But they're bringing it back. It's got Rami Malek. It's got Ana de Armas, and Lisa Liu. So I'm all about who's in it.
I'm really looking forward to the movie Mank, which is David Fincher's movie about Orson Welles and making
And the writer for Citizen Kane.
Citizen Kane. Looking forward to that because I love David Fincher. Netflix and Fincher have had a pretty good working relationship. I'm looking forward to the new Bill and Ted movie. I had Tenet.
Samara Weaving plays one of the daughters.
I might see it.
Sonic. Sonic. Now that they did the redo, it looks good.
It looks like
I'll
90s
see
Jim
it.
Carrey.
The new Jordan Peele movie, Antebellum, looks really cool.
That looks really good.
Mulan, The Gentleman.
Totally for Mulan.
The new movie from oh my god, Vin Diesel, Bloodshot, based on a comic book. Looks ridiculous.
Fast 9 also.
Yeah, Fast 9, Quiet Place 2, Free Guy, the movie about the NPCs with
Is
Ryan
Taika
Reynolds.
Waititi just in it, or is he directing that?
I think he's just in it. The Morbius movie's coming
Have
out,
you
which
seen-
I'm shocked you didn't list, or Venom 2.
Did you see on the for what did you say? Taika Waititi, the one trailer where he and Ryan Reynolds are sitting there with Jodie Comer, and they're saying it's like, oh, we're so excited that we get to work together. We've been looking for a project, and it's like, didn't you guys do something? No. This is the first time we've worked together. It's taken us a lot of time, and it's like, weren't you in Green Lantern? And they cut back and they're gone.
That's funny. So the Kingsman, which is the prequel to the Kingsman,
kind of like the setup for it, right?
The Trial of the Chicago 7, which is a new Aaron Sorkin movie. And then Robert Zemeckis is remaking The Witches.
Yes.
Which is written by the dude who did Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Dahl. Shel Silver.
Roald Dahl.
Roald Dahl.
And then the Snake Eyes movie, followed by Uncharted, which is based on one of my favorite PlayStation.
Is that even coming out? Because they lost their director.
It's slated for 2020, but it's
going to be delayed.
So I'm not going to lie to you. 2020 looks... I'm looking forward to a lot of movies in 2020.
I'm surprised at the number of comic book movies that are coming out.
It's low.
No, it's kind of high.
I mean, after last year, though, I feel like it was a lot.
Last year was less than the year before by like half. Because somebody had said that Shazam was their favorite movie last year, and I responded, well, it's easily in my top 4 favorite comic book movies. Because there are 4.
Well, no, actually, no. The year before was the year when Carnage and all that shit.
The year before was Venom and Aquaman and
Venom, Aquaman,
Spider-Verse,
Infinity
War, Black Panther.
Oh yeah, there was a lot.
And there were more. There were a lot more of that one.
And also
there was another one too.
Oh no, Captain Marvel.
Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2, and Captain Marvel didn't come out.
That was this year.
It came out post
2019.
Infinity War. Yeah.
And then, Black Widow, obviously because Scarlett Johansson, Rachel Weisz, and Florence Pugh. I'm excited for all of that. Eternals, because again, it's just what are they going to do with that is very interesting. Tenet, anything Christopher Nolan does, I'm always interested.
Eternals going to probably potentially explain why we have the X-Men.
That will be one of the setups.
Yeah.
But from what I'm gathering is that it will have the time jumps of every time the Celestials will make an appearance. And what I was saying to Josh before is that it would be really interesting if at one point in time they're wherever, and in Aban Sur is one of the people that's trying to fight against that who becomes Apocalypse. Because I think we're going to start seeing mutant references in like everything. Because in one of the scenes for one of the pictures of the set from Falcon and Winter Soldier, there's a Madripoor flag.
I saw that.
And so it's like, that's very exciting with that.
I saw that.
Let's see, the Mank I'm very interested in because the whole Orson Welles and Citizen Kane,
and David fucking Fincher.
Oh, I like everything. I like everything that he does,
and that's why I said the Trials of Chicago 7. Aaron Sorkin. I mean, anything Sorkin does, especially movie wise. I haven't really seen The West Wing. I saw Newsroom, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Did you ever get a chance to start watching The Morning Show?
Which is
such a piss. The season
finale is ending up now, right?
It already happened a couple weeks ago. The Morning Show is such a piss poor attempt at being Sorkin. No one else really gets that when I mentioned that because you kind of, if you watch the show, you're like, okay, this is supposed. I'm watching this show and it's hard to not say, God, this would have been so much better if Aaron Sorkin wrote this scene because they're trying to tackle the whole Me Too thing, which would have been perfect for Sorkin.
I don't know if he can. I don't know if he's ready to address that yet. He's not that good at it.
Yeah,
he doesn't write women terrifically well.
He doesn't. But no, he did a pretty good job with Molly's Game.
He did. But I mean, that book was based off of a book, so a lot of that was already set up for him. And it's a real person. So, that was the thing in Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip is in the middle of the series, it kind of goes a little sideways because he's trying to apologize to Kristen Chenoweth with the character on the show, and then once he gets through that, then it becomes good again. I mean, it's always snappy, but it to where the focus is where it needs to be. Those obviously the Wonder Woman and some of the others because how are they bringing Steve Trevor back? Is it actually a part of the larger DC? Is it part of the larger DCU?
I hope. I mean, it probably is actually. But I mean,
Birds of Prey is really interesting. But
I didn't list Birds of Prey.
Ewan McGregor is a villain. That's always fun.
We're finally getting Black Mask, so I'm kind of curious to see how they actually pull that off because as of right now in the trailers they don't show him in.
No, and Mary Elizabeth Winstead's always great, so it's good to see that she's
Ramona Flowers forever. I'm pretty pumped up for that. I'm actually probably the movie I'm looking forward to the most actually for 2020, I'm going to have to say is probably Wonder Woman 84.
Tenet for anything Christopher Nolan. And the fact that John David Washington is in that as well.
Yeah, but I mean, the trailer for 84.
It's great. The music in that
The
is
music,
fantastic.
the score, everything about it is perfect to encompass the 80s. You couldn't ask for a better score and song.
And Pedro Pascal as Maxwell Lord is so good.
Yeah, and then they even give us a chance to see
Kristen Wiig
as
Cheetah.
Cheetah, yeah.
When that scene later, when she's made the turn and she's walking in up the stairs in a more confident thing, and they split the crowd to where she's centered in that. That's a terrific look for that. And that's the other thing. So Patty Jenkins is directing Wonder Woman 84. Kate Shortland is directing Black Widow. The director of Birds of Prey is a woman, and also Eternals is Zhao. So it's like or the big four comic book movies are directed by women,
and also not
really
just that, but also the next Star Wars series, Obi-Wan's to be led by a woman as well.
Who directed
she directed 2 episodes,
third episode of Mandalorian,
and 7th, I think.
Yes, and she's going to be doing all of Obi-Wan. The director for Shang-Chi, his movie Just Mercy is opening up Friday. That's his movie.
Is that the movie with
Michael B. Jordan,
and
Brie Larson,
and Brie Larson,
and Jamie Foxx?
Jamie Foxx. That's his movie.
That's his movie.
It's getting really good word of mouth.
That's his movie, and he would have been hired like as that was finishing filming.
So they must have gotten
Brie Larson. They probably talked to Brie Larson and Michael Jordan and all this. But
yeah, she was probably
But the weird, the interesting thing is the lawyer that's based on. He was at a speaking engagement that I work, and so I got to hear him talk. And,
so it's based on actual.
It's a real guy. It's a real guy.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh,
and so
I love lawyer. That's why Blackwaters.
Yes.
Was on my list because it's based on a real lawyer who was fighting.
And I saw that movie
DuPont.
in the late '90s when John Travolta was playing that type of character, doing the same sort of thing. And I can't remember that one, but I think that was written by Steve Zalian. That one, or maybe that movie was directed by Steve Zalian, who was the writer of The Irishman. But so I'm Just Mercy. I'll see when I get back, but I'm excited about seeing that one. Also for the
Where
actors.
are you going?
I'm leaving the country.
Where are you
tomorrow. Well, you'll find out on the thing. That's what I do. And people aren't gonna. They'll find out when they find out.
What continent?
It's east.
Far east?
Far
east?
Far.
Where are you going?
You'll see.
Oh, come on.
That's what I do. I don't tell people until I tell people.
Yeah, I realize that because you've already been to China.
Can you keep a secret?
Yeah.
So can I.
Okay.
That's a line. That's a line from Clue that I've just been waiting for because I watched that movie like 3 times over the past week.
So wait, you've been to China. Did you not go to Japan?
I have been.
Is it Vietnam or Thailand?
No.
No? Cambodia. Or are you that adventurous?
I'm giving the no look because I'm not giving him any information.
You're going to Cambodia. What else is there to talk about as far as pop culture goes? I mean, it's been so long since we recorded The Mandalorian ended. Loved it
because of the success. Within the next week or two, which we'll talk about when we come back, is the Star Wars announcements for what they're going to be doing going forward
with 2022, 24, 26
for movies and television shows. The popularity of Mandalorian and the importance of the streaming series for Disney Plus was so big that they're moving WandaVision up
another year
to where
into 2020.
Yes, the end of this year.
End of this year, which is fantastic because that series is going to hopefully explain a lot of things about what's going to be happening with the future of the Marvel universe. So we have no idea what's happening with that.
And then I think Falcon and Winter Soldier will be spring of 2021. So everything is kind of sliding up a little.
Well, yeah, because they're realizing, okay, guys, we didn't have anything after the Mandalorian.
Well, I mean, it's
they had years to prepare,
but they didn't because they still had to. They couldn't announce anything before Endgame because they needed to.
Oh yeah, but I'm talking about other properties. The Star Wars.
Keep that. Well,
the
Star Wars one they did though.
Disney had so many opportunities to just listen. They're gonna have to pull if they're gonna be doing this weekly shit instead of throwing things against the wall every fucking week.
Well, you say that, but Netflix is going to change to that soon enough. They're already doing that on some of their releases.
Well, certain releases I think deserve to have that, but shows like You, no, and You's a big ass show for Netflix. And I mean, as far as I'm concerned, though, Disney's gonna have to do if they're gonna do a weekly release, they're gonna have to have the HBO model. They're gonna have to have fucking AAA titles every 8 to 10 weeks.
Which is what it's going to come up to, because Mandalorian season 2 is shooting now. The Cassian Andor series and Obi-Wan will be coming up. And then that's the thing is they're in the first 2 miles of the marathon. Once they get through 2020, everything will be, all the wheels will be rolling for everything.
Yeah, but they're already losing subscribers because
They're not losing subscribers. It's that's no different than anything else. People who get those things, there are 3%, which is at the high end power users, that will jump on a streaming service, binge everything for 2 months, and then cut it, and then jump back on when they need to. Most people are like, I'm paying the bill.
I'm paying the bill.
And it's like, I'm on. It's like it's an automatic withdrawal. It's just happening.
Which reminds me, actually, I need to change my email address on my Disney Plus account to reflect my Hulu account, because I pay for Hulu ad free, and I can get both for $12.
Well, it also
without ESPN.
ESPN Plus is interesting, but
I don't care enough about ESPN.
no,
Plus.
there's nothing individually on that's.
I mean, is ESPN Plus going to be showing the McGregor fight?
Yeah, but I think it's separate from. I think it's a pay-per-view on top of that.
Oh,
I'm not sure. I'm sure the prelims and things will be on there, but I'll find out that's this weekend. I'll find out.
Is it this weekend? I thought it was next
soon.
weekend.
Well, it's this month, so it's soon.
Well, see, anyways. All right, Jerry. You do when you leave?
Tomorrow.
You gonna catch either one of those movies, 1917 or
Depends on how much stuff I get done between now and then. Just Mercy or 1917, one of those that comes out. I may see one of the later ones tonight.
I think I'm gonna go see 1917 tonight.
I might see both.
I'm gonna go see 1917 tonight.
I say that like I won't stay up all night just packing and cleaning because it's an early flight and I'll just go straight from there.
Yeah, see me. I'm gonna go see 1917 tonight. I do believe, and tomorrow I'll probably go see Just Mercy. And I'm curious to see where 1917. Like, Josh is giving me shit like, no, the critics dictate what you're thinking. I'm like, well, no, it's Sam Mendes, single shot, World War One.
But you could still leave it off and say I'm holding a slot just in case.
I didn't put it on my list, but I will in the next podcast. I'll definitely know where it falls this time around. But I'd be very shocked if it's not in my top 10.
It's the trailer is magnificent with what's his name, just giving the tease to it. It's like, your brother, you have to do this. They all die.
Yeah,
it's like, I'm in.
And see, I didn't even know it was a single shot movie until I started reading the reviews. I'm like, wait,
and again, it's not single shot in the sense that it's real time.
No.
There's obviously time jumps, but they don't do. It's a one camera point of view thing from that thing.
In the same sense of what they did with The Revenant.
Yeah, and I mean they're definitely making the effort to the one point of view is the one that you have.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to how they handle that. Apparently, Roger Deakins, who shot the movie, knocked it out of the park again. He always does.
The trailers just look amazing.
Yeah, so
he was no, that's the Halls, the father and son Hall were the outlaw Jesse James and the coward Robert Ford or whatever. That was like the senior Conrad Hall, and then his son was also nominated for something that year as well.
Actually, does BAFTA even do?
Oh yeah, they do.
No, best
cinematography.
Cinematography.
Yeah, they have all those others.
I didn't see who was nominated for best cinematography. Actually,
those are on there.
I'm kind of curious to see who was nominated for that, because that's as you know, I like following cinematography and those guys. Who was actually nominated for best cinematographer in those movies? One moment, pulling this up. Actress, supporting actor. We already went through all that. Screenplay. Best cinematography is 1917, Irishman, Joker. They're calling it Le Mans 66 because that's actually the title of the movie in other regions.
Because it doesn't matter.
They don't give a fuck about Ford or Ferrari. Well, no, they care about Ferrari.
Well, they wouldn't know. They wouldn't know, but they know what Le Mans 66 is.
Yeah. So, and then, really? Le Mans 60. I mean, Ford v Ferrari in 17. I don't see the Irishman winning that. The Joker was pretty well shot, though. There was actually some really cool shots.
No, the choices were really interesting.
Yeah. And then The Lighthouse, which I have not seen yet.
Which apparently is everybody I know has seen it, loved it.
Every top 10 list I was looking at leading up to this whole little homework assignment, it's on everyone's top 10, including number one.
That's the guy who did Witch, isn't it?
Yeah. I didn't really like Witch.
Oh, let me. I will not say that I'm looking forward to it, but I'm most intrigued by New Mutants. Is it actually going to be released in the theater? Is it going to go straight to a thing?
No, it's going to be released. It's getting released.
Are people going to see it because they think it's part of the MCU? Or are people going to see it because they know that it's not part of the MCU?
Maybe who knows? Maybe Disney held it back and reshot.
No, they shot. There were absolutely no shots shot. Reshoots were never scheduled because all of the actors involved were
Too old.
too busy
Oh.
doing all sorts of other things because Maisie Williams did it in between season 7 of 8 and Game of Thrones. I think by the time they got around, and here's the thing, people are like, well, I'm not excited because they didn't do the re-horror things. I said, no, I think Fox was gonna fuck all that up, and that the story that we got is what people wanted, but that Fox was just going to mess with it.
I think we're getting actually what we're supposed to get.
Yes, and I think what we're going to see is actually the better version, and then you're going to have, I want the reshoot. They never did any reshoots.
Well, this is actually supposed to be Maisie Williams' first theatrical release since Game of Thrones ended.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually, I think it's really the only other thing she's done since those.
I think it is her first
Doctor Who episode she appeared in,
which is actually kind of funny because in fact this movie was supposed to come out 2 years ago.
Yeah. Like before, it was supposed to come out before Sansa in Dark Phoenix, and then Anna Taylor-Joy, who was in Witch,
yeah,
is in this.
Yeah, shit. Yeah, no, Lighthouse, Robert Pattinson with Willem Dafoe.
Yeah,
and it basically takes place in a lighthouse, and it's in black and white. And it's topped a shit ton of lists I've seen, and also there was another movie I saw that's topping a lot of lists. It's from the Asian director who did Hero. It's called Shadow.
Yes, I've heard about that.
I might have to check that out. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and cut this out. Jerry, anything you want to say? See what movie?
I would say it's like, I hope Euphoria doesn't go past the second season.
I was kind of hoping he didn't even get a second season.
They did, and because
I know,
but it's like it can't go past that. Because they ended the season basically at the Christmas break with the homecoming dance, so it's like it can't go past prom/graduation. It's got to end there.
She's fucking dead.
I think the
parents are giving eulogies.
I think the end was changed because of the renewal.
God damn it! I was kind of hoping it would be a single take one season.
It should have been.
It should have been 100%. Should have been.
The show was based off of one season.
Yeah, from the that Israeli show. I kind of curious to see what that show has. Also, I plan on watching the Russell Crowe, Roger Ailes show on Showtime. I'm gonna probably watch it this weekend
because he and Nicole Kidman's best friend Naomi Watts was nominated for that as well,
and he won.
Yeah, he won.
He beat out some fucking people from Chernobyl.
Yeah, he beat out Jared Harris,
and I'm shocked by that. That's what caught my attention because Jared Harris in Chernobyl is fucking awesome. So the fact that he came out and beat him, even though maybe Golden Globes. They love famous stars. Yeah,
that's the thing. It's like Jared Harris would have won if it was just other American actors, but there was a more famous foreign actor. We'll
see what happens with the Emmys. Unless Chernobyl's audience is less.
Oh no, the Chernobyl and The Loudest Voice were this past one, and Chernobyl I think cleaned up on a lot of those.
Okay, so that makes more. Yeah. That's almost like that's why like shows like Watchmen weren't even represented in Golden Globes. Did you watch Watchmen at all? By the way, I
watched the first episode. I gotta watch the others.
You gotta watch the rest. Oh my god. Best show of the year,
and that's what I'm excited that it appears that is a one and done.
They're leaving it open. I'll put it that way.
Well, the people behind it are not.
Oh yeah, but I mean, it's gotten such a great reception critically and also viewership wise.
Lindelof said it's like if we tell anything, it'll be a different part. It won't be with these people, which I think would be a better idea.
It is a better. Trust me, watch it and you'll see why. Fantastic show though, and the way they handle it, loved it. All right, so we're out.